I'm coming up just a little bit. Never want to quit. I'm feeling it the way it is. It's elevated. Vision is blurry. Feel it and dizzy. You elevate me. I feel the rush every little bit. Never want to quit. I'm feeling it. This haziness is elevated. Vision is blurry. Feel and dizzy. You elevate me. Vision is blurry. Feel and dizzy. You elevate me.
Welcome everyone to a very, very special night. Here we go, starting our playoffs with the LAS Draft quarterfinals taking place here. Match number 1 is the Falcons taking on the Panthers. Tonight, though, we have the Panthers on red side start or blue side starting off the night, and the Falcons have chosen to opt for that red side. What do you guys think about game number 1 here before we do get into draft? As everyone is just readying up.
Well, Salt, it's playoffs,
It's
baby. I'm ready to get
playoffs.
down and get dirty. It's the second seed of the Falcons versus the third seed of the Panthers from Group B. It's going to be a banger of a game, and I hope both of these teams came ready to play and ready to, throw down and get some action going very early on.
Yeah, for sure. Been
Definitely.
very excited for playoffs since I joined the cast, and glad I didn't have to wait as long for it since I did join fairly towards the middle, actually towards the end rather. And I haven't gotten to see the Falcons play, so that's really exciting for me. I did get to see the Panthers play last week, and I'm really, really excited to see how Defoe does specifically in the mid lane. He kind of popped off in the game that we were, in the games that we were able to cast. So looking for him to do some more of that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Just in case you guys are wondering what the scores are of the other series being played tonight, use exclamation point multi and you'll be able to see all the scores on our second channel, Legends Esports 2. So we are going to be getting into draft, but like you said, Defoe is looking very, very strong coming into this week, so I'm hoping to see some good picks out of him. But we will get right into this and see what's happening with everyone on both sides.
Yeah, baby, right into the draft. So we saw Panthers last week absolutely popping off in that game that they had against the Crusaders, and it was just a showdown, man. Defoe and Angratis, that mid jungle duo here from the Panthers, just absolutely putting on a clinic on how you're supposed to run that matchup down. So interested to see what they're going to be able to do today. And we can already see that Echo being taken away from the Panthers there. They don't want to see the Kumi there playing that champion as well as the Senna and the Aatrox going to be the first 3 bans for this game.
Yeah, for sure. I like the I like the Echo Band. That's a really interesting one. I assume that the Kumi plays that pick a lot, or at least their jungler might play it as well. Could have been a weird flex pick that would be more specific to their team. The Senna ban, I don't think is the most important ADC to ban. Yes, she is strong. I think you should be looking to prioritize Kaisa and Tristana more. I think those are way stronger ADCs. But that being said, if you yourself cannot play against the Senna, I guess then you should just go ahead and get rid of that instead. That works. Something I noticed is that Seraphine is up, and the Panthers elected not to first pick Seraphine. They instead decide to go ahead and first pick the Hecarim, which is good, but Seraphine being on the board for red side is kind of scary.
Yeah, first mistake there from the Panthers, not picking up the most busted champion in the game right now. Interested to see if they're going to be able to pick it up on the second rotation. The Falcons might opt into it, though. Olaf is going to be the pick for them on the other side, though. Olaf did get hit with some nerfs earlier in the weeks here. Gore Drinker also getting nerfed, compounded on top of that, plus the Sterix nerfs and healing in general getting nerfed. Don't do the best for him at the current state in the meta, but you see here, Falcons still very comfortable on that champion for Jeevan there in the jungle. So I'm interested to see what they're going to pick for the other side here. And Gradash pretty good on that Hecarim pick. Malzahar and Seraphine are still up. Nairo has been playing quite a bit of Seraphine in the past couple of weeks. And Defoe, one of his signature champions in the Malzahar, is still up. So interested to see if he's going to opt into it here. He is going to be playing up against the Silas if he does opt into it. But again, Defoe really likes to play that Malzahar, so interested to see if he's going to go for comfort here on this second rotation. It's going to be the Caitlyn, though. Woven Alchemist popping off on it last week as well, so pretty solid pick there for him down there in that bot lane. You're going to need something like a range support or enchanter support to buff up that Caitlyn and get some lane pressure early on down there in that bot lane.
Yeah, so something weird is they actually already banned out the Morgana, so if they were looking to go Kate Morgana, you can't do that because you yourself already banned it. And the fact that they haven't even seemed to entertain the idea of picking Seraphine is crazy to me, because Seraphine, one, should not have fallen to the third rotation in the draft, and two, just pairs up really, really well with the Hecarim, and instead they opt for the Brand, which I'm pretty sure is what we saw Defoe on, and we saw him absolutely demolish one of the other teams on that pick. So that's really scary because that could also still be flex support, assuming their support is able to play it. So definitely gonna keep our eyes on that brand pick.
Yeah, my boy Defoe in the mid lane last week, absolutely popping off in that game. It had about like 14 or 15 kills in that game. Did not even give them a chance to breathe on that brand. So here he goes picking it up again. And I think it's going to be quite the showdown in the mid lane. Takumi also very aggressive mid laner there for the side of the Falcons. And he opted in for that Silas pick very early on. Usually end up saving that Silas or one of these more counter heavy mid laners for the later stages of the draft, but picking it here in the second rotation for himself, or the first rotation rather, for the Falcons, was his optimization, or what he opted into. And Ezreal picking up on the other side though for the Falcons. What are your thoughts on that? I think honestly Ezreal decently strong with that Dustlight build, but people have been just experimenting a lot with him. What do you think about that, Sherman?
Ezreal right now is one of my favorite ADCs to play. When it comes to competitive though, I feel like you could play a lot stronger ADCs right now. Yeah, you don't want to pick Kai'Sa because they already showed Caitlyn. The issue I have with Ezreal into Caitlyn is a lot of people think of Ezreal as one of her really good matchups, which in lower elo is going to be true, but when you have an ADC like Caitlyn that can shove in the wave really, really hard, it's very difficult for you as the Ezreal to be able to deal with that. So you can have the picks like Caitlyn, Jhin, stuff that just, or Sivir hard shoves your lane in, and then as Ezreal, your wave clear is absolutely abysmal. So when it comes to objectives and trying to like match the rotations of the other bot lane, you're not really able to do any of that, and you're also looking to pretty much sack your lane. And the upside of Ezreal is you can send your support to go do something. So I imagine if they're going to pick Ezreal, they should pick something like Nautilus, Leona, Bard that can leave the Ezreal and affect the map.
Yeah, something that can really just leave that Ezreal on an island, something like the Rel maybe, or something else like that. But Falcons not really doing their homework here, and banning out the Malzahar and the Anivia. Of course, it gets to be that brand support as you said earlier. But Defoe really likes that champion, as we saw last week. So opting in here for 2 more mid lane bans, and they could just very well have just eaten those bans up for Defoe in that mid lane and opt in for a support pick down here at the later stages. But going back to that Ezreal point, something that I really like to see alongside it are things like the Leona, which was banned away. Rel as well can do a lot of work. Even Alistar, considering Devbo does play that if he does, but he's going to opt in for the Thresh here. So very safe bot lane here for the Falcons. Going to be very hard to punish with ganks and such like that. That's not to say that the bot lane of the Panthers are not going to have early pressure with that Caitlyn down there in that bot lane. That Piltover Peacemaker just really allows you to push in those early waves, get some early plates at the earlier stages of the game before those plates fall. And with that, you can opt in for a Rifto rotation to the top side, move your bot lane over there, and secure that to get even more plates. So interested to see if they're going to be able to do that here with this Caitlyn pick, opting it in again for Woven Alchemist. He did play it in the last few weeks. It's going to be a Tarek Hubbard right now. We'll see if they do end up locking it in. It is going to be the Tarek Hunt lock in here, so that's going to be going down there for the side of Nairo, and that's going to be an interesting pick because I haven't seen a whole lot of Tarek in the current meta.
Yeah, haven't seen it very often. The Gnar, however, seen a lot of that. Tarek and Caitlyn is a very strange combo, not what I would really want to pair with my Caitlyn. That being said, we didn't really get to touch on this, which is the Thresh. The Thresh I really, really like when it comes to a pick that can roam and affect the map very well. And something also to notice is, yes, you can use Thresh as a very safe support for the Ezreal, but not only that, Thresh actually synergizes very, very well with Olaf. Olaf, one of his big weaknesses is that while he is really, really good at getting into a fight, it's really hard for him to get out, and with a Thresh and being able to take that Lantern, it becomes a lot easier, or a lot harder for them to actually punish Olaf after he threatens the backline and causes some mayhem in there.
Yeah, that Olaf is going to be very well supported there because as you are in that Ragnarok, you can still take that Lantern out, as you were saying. A lot of safety there for the divers there on the side of the Falcons in between that Sylas and Olaf. Relatively decent ultimate steal here for the Sylas here. You got that Pyroclasm there for the brand, Cosmic Radiance down there for that Tarek, and the Gnar bar for that Gnar there. So we'll see if he ends up stealing some of these big teamfight ultimates because right now the Falcons don't have a crazy amount of engage. It's really just going to be that Thresh going to be having to start things off, or really an Olaf running at you. So Falcons definitely a little bit harder of an execution of a composition to play here, but we'll see if they end up going for something a little bit more aggressive here in the early stages of the game. They did opt in for that Aurelia last pick, so it's going to be a Aurelia pick against that Gnar. It is considered one of the Gnar's counters up there, so we'll see if Palter up there can put in some work on that champion. So it's going to be spicy lanes around the map, and it's going to be tons of action, hopefully, very early on and into the later stages, because, again, this is the playoffs match, best of 5. Whoever wins the first 3 or whoever gets first to 3 are taking it, going into the next round. So it's going to be very exciting here. We're going to be going into that semifinal match, and this is very important here. These guys have to find early advantages early on if you are the side of the Falcons, and opting in for a little bit of a harder composition can make that a little more difficult. But at the end of the day, if you can just outplay your opponents, the composition execution does not really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really. We've seen it before, where where a team with like a really weird, scrappy composition, that should have no way to win against the other team that has like a really big combo team fighting comp. The first team ends up winning anyway, just because they hard stomp their lanes and they just hard stomp the game, and the other team, or the team with a lot more team fighting power, doesn't play to that strength. And they just aren't able to reach that stage of the game, so they just have to kind of roll over and die, which I never want to see in a game for sure. This game, I feel like for the Falcons to end up winning the game, that's kind of what they have to do. They have to stomp every single lane, because Ezreal and Thresh can go ahead and scale up. But if Irelia falls behind, if Sylas falls behind, and if Brand gets ahead, I've seen what the Brand can do in the hands of Defoe. We've both seen it. It's not pretty. So if he gets super fed, it's going to be very, 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 very scary for the Falcons. That being said, the Panthers have a much easier time of winning the game. I'd say Caitlyn Tarek should be able to control the lane and should be able to dictate the pace of the bot lane. The thing that they're going to have to watch out for is when Thresh leaves, because if Thresh can screw over the Brand in the mid lane, it makes it a lot harder for the Panthers to win, because Brand is kind of their win condition right now.
Yeah, that Brand really it's a lot of that damage, right? You do have that Caitlyn alongside it, but a lot of that magic damage is going to be coming there from Defoe in the mid lane. But the Kumi over there, picking that Sylas pick, interested to see how that matchup's going to go. I don't play a whole lot of mid lane, so I don't have that much information on it, but I would assume that Brand having that slight rage advantage early on and having a little bit better wave clear than the Sylas can opt in for these earlier push-ins and get some early resets off, using some of his innate wave clear over there on that side. And overall, though, I think these are some interesting matchups here, because we haven't really talked about this top lane, but Sugar Daddy Draven, my boy SDD, up in that top lane, picking the Gnar again, as he did last week, and Palter opting in for that counter pick in the Irelia. Irelia, one of these champions that doesn't do the best in these team fights, but if you're able to go into one of these sidelines and just pressure, can be very, very strong. So it's going to be up to Sugar Daddy Draven up there in that top lane to shut down that Irelia, not let him get off his feet, not even give him a chance to be that super carry in the side lane, because you do fall off quite a bit on that Irelia, or not necessarily fall off, but it can be very hard to play into some of these later game team fights on that Irelia. But that, again, you do have a little bit of an earlier stage composition in the top side of the map for the Falcons over here, so it's going to be up to them, that Irelia and Olaf duo, to look for some advantages very early on into the game. But I do give the bot lane advantage to the bot lane of the Panthers, that Caitlyn plus Tarek can do very well up into the Ezreal Thresh, who really just wants to play back and play safe.
Yeah, Caitlyn Tarek is it's a weird lane. Tarek has to play it. I think Tarek is the one that has to play it a little bit better, because he can't sit with Caitlyn all the way where she wants to stay. They have to play diagonally from each other, which makes it very difficult for the Turk to actually do what he wants to do. Which he wants to when he wants to try to get a stun off, he has to go forward, really far from his ADC, and if he misses the stun, it is pretty doomed for him. He's gonna lose a big chunk of his health if he does that and it backfires and doesn't work out. And at that point, you could actually give a lot of tempo over to the Ezreal and the Thresh. So it's going to be interesting to see how he ends up handling that. I doubt we'd end up seeing him go for those stunts, and if he does, if he misses them, it's gonna swing in the favor of Ezreal Thresh, I'd imagine.
Yeah, for sure. And that Ezreal Thresh really do want to just play safe, so we're probably not going to see a whole lot of action, but hold that thought because we're going to be going into Spec Delay. We're going to get all synced up and into this game very shortly, so we'll send you off to a very short break. Again, Panthers versus the Falcons, first playoff of the LAS draft. We're getting in here. We're going to get down.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come with me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
All right, everybody watching the Legends Esports here today. We got a great matchup for you. We got the Panthers on the blue side, the Falcons on the red. Should be quite the matchup of the day. And this is the first playoff match of the LA's draft, so it's going to be hype. It's going to be ready to go down. Again, we have the second seed versus the third seed. Panthers opting in for that blue side over there, and I'm going to just run down the teams real quick. In that top lane, we got Sugar Daddy Draven SDD running that Gnar in the top lane, and Gratis in the jungle running that Hecarim Defoe in the mid lane, playing that Brand once again, Woven Alchemist, and Nairo down in that bot lane, playing that Caitlyn plus Taric combo over there. So far, we're not seeing any action, so I'll just go ahead and run down the red side as well. If you're just joining us, Falcons over here on the red side playing Palter up there in that top lane on the Aurelia, Jeevan in the jungle playing that Olaf, Nakumi in the mid lane playing Silas, and Alpha Seru and Kevbo down in that bot lane playing Ezreal plus Thresh over there. So good matchups all over the board and should be quite the banger today.
Yeah, should be a fun one for sure. And of course, we got the possibility of 5 games tonight should it be a close series. So could be a lot of games that we have in store for tonight. Of course, the minimum that we'd have is 3, so, and that's still more than we usually end up casting. So it's going to be a pretty long night, I'd imagine.
It's gonna be a fun night. Shogun, we're here and we're ready to go, man. I've been looking forward to playoffs since I started casting this. LAS draft, and now we're here. We're going in, and both matchups already starting off strong here. Both sides just opting in for full clears in the jungle, and Gratis and Jeevan over there just running around the jungle, clearing their camps, getting some early levels there and early XP there, ready to go. And so far already, we see this bot lane from the side of the Panthers here pushing up very early on.
Yeah, Panthers managing to get a very sizable XP lead, and
Ooh, Pulsar up here in the top lane. That Blade Surge over here doing a lot of damage and work for Pulsar up here. Sugar Daddy Draven taking a real bad side of that trade. Again, this Gnar into Aurelia can be quite rough, but he's going in again with that Blade Surge. One more auto, one done, he flies in. That's gonna be blood for Pulsar. The top lane, he survives. Oh Lord, we're starting off with some action already. Let's go. Let's get it, baby.
yeah, so right there is where you can kind of see how Gnar does not do very well into Irelia. So for those all wondering where the counterplay is for Irelia, it may seem like there's none. You have to pay attention to how many stacks that she has. I remember once playing a game against Irelia, I didn't know what the heck was going on. And I was going in on an Irelia with fully stacked passives, or fully stacked passive, and I was just getting melted. So whenever she hits those 5 stacks, you kind of just have to back up and let her do whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, you really got to play into that Ionian Fervor, I believe is what it's called, her passive there. Those 5 stacks do a lot more damage than you would assume, and here we see some action on the bot lane. Nairo just getting that Dazzle on very early on. Here comes the Death Sentence landing onto Kev, Nairo there. Not going to mean the most, but some just early trading down here on the bot side. But again, man, that top lane, we wanted some action from it, and so far it's turning out volatile. It's looking real good up there, but speaking of action, here we go into the mid lane, or into the jungle, excuse me. Jeevan getting real low over here, but fast forward to the bot side here. Nairo is getting a dazzle onto Alpha Saber by himself, and it's just going to be not a whole lot opting in for that or coming down from that. Just some early trading, some early little skirmishes around the map, and Gratis really wanting to get this second Scuttle Crab over here on the bot side, and it looks like he's going to be able to get it.
Yeah, so that's a really big win for the Panthers. Even though their top laner did give up first blood to Irelia, which is scary. And hold on, we have Olaf in some trouble.
Ooh, that Dazzle misses, but that's going to be a lot of damage going on to Jeevan. Nairo's going to take him down. That's a whole lot of damage going down already. Nairo and Kevo are just fighting it out here. That Thresh really wanted to get action going on there in that bot lane, and that was just a little bit ambitious there from Kevo to look for that hook, but let's go for it.
I like the hook. I can respect establishing some dominance. Like, yeah, that's right. I hit you with my hook. The second cast of the Q, the death sentence, flying in, it was almost Thresh's own death sentence. I don't know what that was all about, but he doesn't die for it. That was a little worrying. You definitely don't need to go for anything like that. If you do want to get the flay off, you don't have to fly at him. You could just kind of walk at him slowly and then flay back. That'll have the same effect. And see, that's what you do. You just
yeah, Kevo asserting that dominance, man, as you said earlier. Really nice to see here. Some good Thresh play so far out of the bot lane from Falcons over here. But again, man, yeah, Kevo getting a little action heavy down there in that bot side, and that's what I wanted to see, right? We were talking about this earlier in the draft. This Thresh really needs to get out of this lane and do some work if you want to make this pick, useful here. Of course, very good at saving people later stages of the game, but if you want to secure some advantages here, but hold that stock, because then Gratis is just messing with him. Jeevan over here on the other side again, devastating charge pushing back. Jeevan already getting low here. The Dazzle's gonna land. It's gonna be a stun. Nairo taking down a second. That support, unluckily picking up the 2 kills already, but not gonna mean anything at all. 1,000 gold lead already for the side of the Panthers.
yeah, the Panthers, even though they lost first blood, doesn't really matter a whole lot. Gnar, while he is, well, you need to stop taking this trade first of all, buddy. All right, there you go. That's what I was talking about. Irelia had her passive stacked up, which means there's no way you can out damage that champion when she is in that state, as we could very easily see there. But that being said, Panthers, even though the top side isn't going too well for them, every other side of the map is going really well for them. The jungle difference is ridiculous already. The fact that Olaf is 0-2 and down about 13, 14 CS, so about 3.5 camps. That's really big considering Olaf needs to get an early lead, and without an early lead, he slowly becomes more and more irrelevant. in the game already. Once it gets late, he's a pretty irrelevant champion. But this might make his irrelevancy accelerate drastically unless he can find some sort of play. I would be looking towards top side. That's what you should be doing this entire game. Is you should be playing towards the top side. That is your strong side of the map. You can also be ganking the mid lane. Brand really has no escape, so that would be a great lane to gank as well. Whereas bot side, trying to get them ahead is going to be kind of a waste of time because they should just scale up by themselves.
Oh, the Kubi getting a lot of damage down. Now steals the Pyroclasm, not going to mean the most just yet. The Kingslayer really healing him up to full there. The Kumi just flexing his muscles in that mid lane, showing that Brand, you know, you can't have full control of this lane. I'm in here too, but to go back to that point of where the Falcons really need to be on the map here, they, like you said, they really need to start opting into some of these ganks. You did pick that Olaf there, and this Gnar up here is very, very susceptible to a gank here. You can even look for dives and things like that. Kevbo finding another hook down here on the bot lane. Nairo just not been able to get the best out of those dodges against that death sentence. So here is the state of the game so far. 1,000 gold lead for the Panthers, a dragon in their favor, or almost 1,000 gold, excuse me. But that gold lead not meaning the most just yet. It's the Kumi looking for something once again. Defoe getting locked up here by the E, getting stunned up as well. Has to flash away from that onslaught of shadows. Not going to be the most just yet. And Gratis going in under the tower, and Defoe picking up the kill. Again, that Brand coming in handy in that mid lane for the side of the Panthers. And they're making it look clean. They're making it look easy. The Kumi opting in for a bad timing to go in there. Did not have vision of that Hecarim, and it cost them dearly.
And I like the idea of trying to go aggressive onto the Brand and trying to punish him, and you should know that you have the healing and the damage to outtrade Brand in that situation. However, when you don't know where the jungler is, especially when that jungler is Hecarim, you can't really go for a play like that, or else it's not going to be a good play.
Yeah, as we saw there, not a very good play at all. Having to, go down. He's already down 20 CS, and that jungle gap has closed a little bit. Same level now, 6-6 in that jungle roll. Nairo getting low now, gets hooked under the tower. That's could be very bad. Nairo having to flash away. That ignite coming down as well. True shot, Braun. He's gonna pick him up. That's a shutdown on the bot lane. That's a couple 100 gold going into the favor of the Ezreal. Alpha Saber gonna be feeling real good after that one, but they're looking for more. They're looking for some more action. Alpha Saber does not have that Mystic Shot. After Mystic Shot going in onto him, uses that E to move forward and find some more damage. Cannot find it, so overall, it's going to be a pretty decent trade down there in the bot lane. They get the shutdown, they get the gold onto that Ezreal. Alpha Saber is going to be feeling real good.
For sure. And something I want to mention about Ezreal ult is if you can see Ezreal starting up his ult, just walk in like a different direction for a while, and there's a pretty high chance that he did not guess that you would walk that far. If he did, you could probably see it at that point and just start walking the other way, and you'll go ahead and dodge it anyway. But generally, Ezreal
action up here on the top lane. Hold that thought, because Jiva having to blow his flash very early on. The Kumi is now getting locked up by the Brand here. Has to take a bunch of damage. That burn is getting real low. He's getting real low. Almost goes down. But again, as you were saying, the Panthers, while they're losing that bot lane, they're getting advantages around the map here. This jungle and mid matchup have just been going completely in their favor. So that bot lane has not been the most relevant, but Nairo now landing the dazzle onto Alpha Saber down here on the bot side, using that ignite as well, getting a lot of damage down. One more would do it. That's going to be that Caitlyn ultimate, not finding it. The heal saves them barely. Holy. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, gets very low and does do a good job of holding his heal until he sees the Caitlyn ultimate coming out, so that he can at least waste that cooldown and still lives afterwards, which is really, really nice for him. So, really well played by the Ezreal. That being said, he shouldn't have been that far up to begin with, because he ends up wasting his flash too, and oh no!
No. Okay, alright. Well, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that down there on the bot lane. Hold that, because Palter is going in and misses that ultimate there. It's gonna be looking real bad for him now. Use the blast, go back, try and find it. That Aurelia is gonna be probably going down up there. Not yet though, because Holdak, because Kevbo is getting low as well. Wolven Alchemist down here on the bot side, trying to do his best to stay alive, but he can't do it. Doesn't even find the kill back onto Kevbo as well. So Alpha Saber down here, just getting the better of this bot lane matchup.
Alright, so two things. One, Irelia just lived, and I think that needs to be mentioned because how? And two, I don't know how many missed skill shots I just saw fly completely off the mark. I think if a lot of those hit, we could have seen drastically different outcomes. The Caitlyn missed a Peacemaker. She missed her E as well, so she wasn't able to get the headshot off on somebody. Irelia missed her ultimate, which could have helped her turn the fight around. And even though she lived, she might have been able to get a kill as well. That's just a few of what I saw. Oh, also Thresh going in with his death sentence was odd. And hold on, Irelia's getting dove.
Yeah, Irelia's getting dove into the tower. TP coming in here, it's not going to be the most at all. Sugar Daddy Draven taking him down at the end of the day alongside Ingratus here. But the Kumi going in here at half HP, less than half HP. But while that's all happening, a bot lane fight is going down as well. The Kumi having that also on the shadows, uses it now into the back line, does not hang on to anybody, but he's going to be getting real low as well. On the bot side, we already see 2 kills. That's 3 kills. That's 3 to the Panthers. They're looking real good. Alpha Saber might be going down as well. He has a shutdown. He has a bounty on his head. That Dazzle's going to land. It's going to be the ace for the Panthers. They make it look easy around the map.
Yeah, for sure. You could blink and you'll miss it. All of a sudden, the Panthers find themselves an ace, as well as I don't know if they got this dragon. I can't remember if this was the mountain dragon that was gotten, or if it was the Falcons who got the Cloud Drake. But
yeah, the Falcons just got the Cloud.
Alrighty, so the Falcon, gotcha. Falcons got the Cloud Drake. So, yeah, it's 5 kills for 1 dragon. Definitely not worth. Oh, and a turret, of course, in the top side. Almost forgot about that. That went down. And just a really weird teleport for the Kumi. At a certain point, you gotta realize your friend probably gonna die. No reason to 1, waste your teleport, and 2, also waste your own life as well. Better to just cut your losses at that point. You already got the dragon, albeit you also lost like 3 of your teammates. That could have been a better place to TP and help them out. I wasn't entirely sure of the state of the fight down there, but an interesting decision. I just don't agree with it personally.
Yeah, definitely questionable decisions around the map here for the side of the Falcons. We're going to see Kevbo getting the better of this trade again. He's just been getting the better of Nairo down there on the bot side. He's not been able to dash any of these death sentences. So going into the later stages, these hooks have been pretty accurate here from Kevbo, because around the map they're just starting to bleed a lot. And again, they have the lower scaling comp. This was supposed to be the composition for the side of the Falcons that, you know, gets off early, gets ahead, and then just runs over the map, snowballs into the end of the game. But the Kumi on the wrong side of the map here could very well be going down. That's a flash over the wall. That's going to be a missed Q there. Not going to land a stun at all. Pyroclasm going down. Kingslayer to heal him up quite a bit. The Kumi looking pretty decent in this mid lane. 1v3. Not going to go down at all. So played that very well there. Stays alive and gets the flash out of Defoe as well. So feeling pretty good after that.
Yeah, man was putting on some dancing shoes, dodging a lot of skill shots there. The Gnar Q wasn't able to find its mark. The Brand Q wasn't able to stun, and because of that, he just gets to live. They didn't really have many ults to use. A Brand used his ult, but when it only hits 1 person, it's kinda useless. Doesn't do nearly as much as you want. You could honestly just walk up to like 3 people. Oh, hold on.
Nairo flashing in with the Dazzle, finding that stun already very early on. Kevbo could be in a very bad spot here. That ace in the hole is going to come out to find some more damage. And Gratis looks for the E. Devastating charge finds it. Now he's going to be looking for some more damage. One more rampage will do it. He does find the kill under the tower, but he could very well be going down as well. Ezreal picks out the kill onto him. The Kumi now in a 1v1 against Sugar Daddy Draven. SDD, can he find it? That's going to be him finding the kill as well. Gnar picks up a kill onto the Kumi. It's going to be pretty bad. 2 down already for the side of the Falcons. And the Dragon's not even up, but all this time, Palter's steadily pushing into that top side, trying to get that tower.
Yeah, so Irelia able to get some free farm, and probably saying to her team, guys, what are we doing? I don't have teleport up, there's no dragon up, why are we fighting? There's actually 0 reason to be doing anything if you're either side, honestly. If you're actually, I take that back. If you're the Panthers, you want to try to catch them out just like they're doing here, and try to punish them for making silly mistakes like that. If you're Falcons, you need to try to slow the game down and say, alright, this Ezreal needs to be bigger. He also went Divine Sunder, so it's gonna take. He's not gonna be nearly as strong, and I don't want to say that because Ezreal built Divine Sunder, the game. Actually, no. That is fine because they have the Gnar, they have the Hecarim, so there are some tanky targets for the Ezreal to build Divine Sunder for. The Tarek as well will be getting kind of tanky. I don't think that one's as big of a reason. So all in all, solid stuff from Ezreal to be able to change his itemization up instead of just going what is the most popular build in the Duskblade and the Essence Reaver. I actually really like the Defiance Thunder. The more I think about it, I think it is a good choice. And we'll see if it pays off. We'll see if he's able to scale up and if he's able to do as much damage as he needs to later on. And if they're even allowed to get to that point in the game.
Yeah, we'll see if he can make it there, finishing up his items and getting, a lot more damage into his build here, because after that Divine Thunder, he can get quite strong. You start to do a lot of damage with those Mystic shots, and when you set up around some of these objectives, that poke can mean the most there. So Defoe and everybody on his team already finishing up their mythics as well. The Iceborne Gauntlet in the top lane, Trinity Force in the jungle there. Leandry's there for Defoe, and then some more items down there in the bot side. It's going to be a TP coming in here for Irelia. Palter does not want to give up this dragon. They really want to scale these up. That's going to be a stolen dragon, though. Oh, man, and Gratis makes it happen. There's going to be a whole lot going down here. There's a lot of Blaze Surges coming around here from the Irelia. Alpha Seru ends up taking one down. Defoe picking up one as well. It's going to be 2 traded back for the side of Alpha Seru, though, and they only lose 1. They may have lost a dragon, but they pick up 2 kills, and it's not going to mean the worst for them, but at the end of the day, you really want an Infernal Dragon there.
Yeah, getting that Infernal Dragon would have been nice. It's not the end of the world that they lost it, though, especially if they're getting 2 kills onto their Ezreal. I think I'd take that in a heartbeat. If you lose, I would rather take the 1 fight overall, managing to get a lot more gold for the person that needs it the most to get this Mana Mune finally built and finally stacking. I think that's way more valuable than just 1 dragon. Of course, I think they really need to prioritize getting this next dragon, and then start working their way towards the soul. That being said, if the Falcons end up getting the next dragon, we're looking at a fairly long game. We'd be looking at a game that's probably going to go at least 30 minutes, if not even longer than that. There's a chance that if they keep going back and forth on the dragons and nothing else really happens and aren't getting more objectives besides those, it could be upwards of like 40 just because of how close the game would be at that point. So this is definitely a game 1 that we could be looking at for sure.
Yeah, quite the long one we could be looking at, but Sugar Daddy Draven on the wrong side of the lane right now. Cheevan now using those undertows to chase him down, but Sugar Daddy Draven not wanting any of it. Blowing that flash to just get on the other side, though. We could very well see another pick here. Kevbo might be getting locked up here. Not going to mean the most just yet. That Dazzle does land. Cheevan is on the other side, though. They could be looking for a fight here. Oh, that hook goes wide. It almost landed, but that was it. The box comes down as well. We're Cosmic Radiance on the backside of that. Pulsar getting real low, and Gratis picks up the kill on him. That's going to be 1. Kevbo getting chased down by Ingratus as well. On the other side, though, there's going to be some action going down as well. Cosmic Radiance does find it. That's a double kill already for Ingratus. That Hecarim is off to the races, and that Pony's moving real fast, but Cheevan is now running down the other side. That's going to be the Kumi here as well. They could be able to find it. That King Slayer is going to be finding a lot of damage. That Passer is just doing tons of work, but here is Defoe to save his jungler, or his mid lane, excuse me. That's going to be an arcane shift forward to his death. Defoe could very well find him. That ace in the hole is going to be coming out as well. Couple more damage will do it. He's just burning real low. A little bit more will do it. He's going to survive. No, he's going to go down. That's going to be the ace for the side of the Panthers. They got another one in this game already, dude. It's going to be a good one. Let's go. Defoe and his team once again, and Gratis really starting that whole thing off though on the bot side, and he just makes it look easy to hold that, because Palter could be very well in a bad spot here, but Sugar Daddy Draven and his team do not want anything just yet. The Panthers are just opting to get away, get back, and see some pings going down onto the Baron here, but it's gonna be in a bad spot for Kevbo here. Gets knocked back with that devastating charge, and Gratis picks up another one under his belt. 5 kills for this Hecarim, looking real good on this pony so far.
Yeah, Hecarim looking pretty solid, and something I want to note for poor Ezreal there is Ezreal really wanted that kill on Caitlyn, and you might feel like, man, Bran was able to just run me down and burn me. Where's the counterplay there? Well, you also kind of eat into a lot there, and trying to get the kill, and because you wasted a lot of your abilities to try to get the kill onto Caitlyn, who is 1 HP, all of a sudden you have nothing to use defensively. And so, yeah, you're probably just going to die. I think it would have been a miracle that he made it as far as he did. And it just deserves that he ended up going down there.
could be looking real bad for Defoe and Nairo down here on the bot side, but Defoe is not going to go down. That's a whole lot of damage from that brand. Hook comes out from Kevo, not going to find anything. Defoe and Nairo just putting on a show down there. Jiva not able to get off to the races on this Olaf so far. Not looking real good on the pick. At the end of the day, though, we see some pings coming out here from the blue side. The Panthers are looking for this Baron here, but the side of the Falcons are getting some vision around it. They don't want to give it up, and they don't even want to get caught sleeping around it. So we'll see if they do end up going onto it. And Gratis and his team here now. All the members from the side of the Panthers are looking onto this Baron so far, and the side of the Falcons have not even, pinged onto it. Nobody has vision here. It could very well be a snuck away Baron, and they're not even going to know what's happening.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Falcons are even blinking at the fact that this is being taken. As you said, doesn't seem like they know about it at all. They didn't really have vision in the pit. And so, yeah, that Panthers very easily getting this Baron as all of a sudden they finally see, oh my god.
A lot of shadows into the back wall, and Gratis finds 3. That's going to be a devastating charge onto the Kumi. Not going to be in the most just yet. Death Sentence lands onto and Gratis as well. Going to be looking for more. Uses that Ghost to try and get some more move speed to get that extra AD on that horse. Alpha Saru now by himself. Vulcan Alchemist trying to find something else, but it's not going to mean the most. That Infernal Dragon is up, and they're just marching over there trying to take it. We'll see if the side of the Falcons look for the fight here, because they very well could.
Falcons could try something, especially with the fairly low health bars, and also Hecarim not having ult is really, really big for for these team fights. Brand having his, though, means that they have to play very carefully. They can't stand too close to each other. Not going to be able to get the dragon, though. Looks like that's going to be all the Panthers. And now we're looking at a much shorter game. In about 6 minutes, the Soul Point will be up. And if the Panthers go ahead and secure that, then they should be able to close out the game very soon after that. They could even look to close out the game before that. I imagine it would be a team fight around that objective that they win, and then they just end the game off of it instead.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see if that's how it all plays out.
Yeah, and I think it just comes back down to these compositions, right? We were talking about it in draft. The side of the Falcons have a much higher level of execution they have to play at if they want to make this work. The side of the Panthers here just really have to just, play front to back, play around the team fight, and then find picks like that. But it's very hard for the side of the Falcons here to just walk into them just because of the front line that they have. The Gnar and the Taric can just stand in front of their carries, buff and shield them up, and then you got a Caitlyn just shooting pot shots into the back line, and Defoe, shooting out those W's on top of that. So it's very hard here for the side of the Panthers to try and look for something. So, the Falcons are trying to look for something because of how the composition of the Falcons has played out. And so far, they've been looking pretty decent, and they're just pushing on to these inhibitors so far. And they could very well just get one here. Looks like it's going to be pretty easy. Just pot shots coming out from the backside. Caitlyn is not here, though, so if the side of the Falcons spot this out, they'll be able to find it. But, the side of the Panthers don't want any of that smoke, man. They just back up, go back into the jungle, take more camps, and then they're going to continue to secure this gold lead in their favor.
Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and starve the Falcons of any resources that they could possibly get. Go ahead and take that big old Gromp away. Gonna look for maybe some, the Wolves are guns, so they won't be able to get those. But they will take what they have and leave with it. They don't really, they shouldn't look to overstay. They could try pushing out bot lane with Baron buff. But yeah, the Falcons can't do anything about the Panthers or whatever they want to do. As long as the Panthers don't walk up too far, of course. And even then, I really don't know if the Falcons have enough power to fight back against the Panthers. Looking back at it, looking at the Olaf, who is now 1-6-4. Remember when I talked about how he would be irrelevant in the game eventually? Yeah, we've been at that point for a very long time. It feels like Olaf isn't a champion, and more so us being able to see that, he's got to be feeling that really, really hard, and that always feels really bad. And it also, it could very well be taking a bit of a toll on the mental. And you could be like someone on the team thinking like, let's go next, because being 1-6-4 on Olaf, you can't do anything. You don't have the survivability to go in and kind of like that Gnar was doing just now.
Yeah, hopping in there with the crunch to try and find something, to not find the Gnar bar over to the side though. But again, yeah, back to your point, man. If you're in this situation, you're getting jungle diff this hard, and Gratis has been getting the better of you since minute 1. It can be very hard to come back from that. So it's gonna be up to Defoe or up to the Kumi and the rest of his team to bring him up, bring up the Falcons bring up their jungler there in Jeevan, and just tell them, bad game, go next week. We still got two more chances. We still can lose one more game. So as long as they can get it together at the later stages and not completely tilt off the face of the earth, they'll be able to do it. But Kevbo, yeah, not the best hook there. But now it's going to be a little bit of a fight here. Defoe picks up the kill onto him. The Thresh tried to find the hook, but wasn't able to make it happen. And again here, they're just pushing onto this turret here, trying to get these inhibitors down. Defoe is taking the tower though, so hopefully the side of the Panthers can just back up. But this is going to be very well the fight that they need. They find the onslaught of shadows on the sidelines. There's going to be a lot of damage going down. Arcade Palter and the rest of his team are getting low, but then a lot of damage from the brand. That Fire Clism is just doing so much damage. Ace in the hole finds a second for Wolf and Alchemist. They just made that fight look easy. Defoe doing so much damage on the offside of that. And that's going to be the first game going over here towards the Panthers. They make it look easy. They had, the better composition in my opinion, and they just made all throughout the match make it look very easy.
Yeah, for sure, and they played it really, really well. That fight, the Falcons looked like they had a really good engage with Silas just ulting on in with that onslaught of shadows from the Hecarim, but because no one on their team realistically has a lot of damage, once Brand ult comes out, it just burns the entire Falcons team to a crisp.
Yeah, that Pyroclasm doing so much damage in that last fight. We saw that thing just bounce around to every single member, just completely destroy them. And then you have that Leandry's plus demonic embrace combo there to just burn them down. Not to mention, Defoe's passive as well. That fire going to be burning down real low. So probably going to have to see this rotation here in the second game. Look for a ban onto that brand there, or possibly even the Hecarim, because giving those two up was a very well how the side of the Panthers got away and off to the races in this game.
Yeah, for sure. I think giving up Hecarim is a bigger mistake in terms of theory in competitive games, but in terms of playing against the Panthers and not doing your homework, especially after what we got to see on stream with Brand in Defoe's hand, yeah, I don't know how you give that pick up ever.
Yeah, I don't know how that even got through. Even the Malzahar getting through in the second rotation. So, maybe he would have just opted in for that. But, maybe they weren't that scared of it. The Kumi thought this Silas pick was the answer. But at the end of the day, it wasn't. And goes 0-5 on that. Had almost the least goal on his team. So, not even able to get off to the races or do anything on that pick. So, really going to need to see some rotation in the draft here, in the compositions. And for everybody in chat and on stream watching, make sure you vote for your player of the game, because it is still available for the playoffs, and we'll see who it ends up being for the second game here. I don't know, Salt, are we going to send it to break soon, or? All right, Salt. So according to Salt, we're sending it to break. We'll be back in a few for the second game. Falcons already down 0-1, and they're going to be looking to make this comeback happen, and we'll see you in a few for the next game.
living in paradise, and no more waiting on you tonight. And my dreams will never ever die. Can you feel that spark in our bones tonight? If I lose myself tonight, oh, I know that you're gonna be there by my side. If I lose myself tonight, I'm gonna reach higher up into the sky. I've been living in paradise, and no more waiting on you tonight. And my dreams will never ever die. Can you feel that spark in our bones tonight?
Alright, everyone, welcome back. I'm just going to turn down this music real quick, and we're going to announce our first player of the game for match number 1 in this quarterfinal best of 5. It's going to be your Defoe in the mid lane on that brand, popping out that Brando, doing a lot of damage, just burning everyone to death. It's almost like he's his own Ignite. What do you think, guys? I definitely think he did deserve that player of the game.
Yeah, POG definitely deserved there for Defoe. Runner-up, though, was Angratis for me. I thought he did pretty good in that jungle. Completely shut down Jeevan at the early stages, and that Olaf was just pretty useless all throughout the map.
Definitely, the
Yeah, I
Olaf
think-
just wasn't able to play. Sorry about that.
No, all good. I think a lot of the credit definitely goes to the Hecarim and Gratis for being able to shut down the Olaf, but also for the bot lane for being able to follow up on those invades that he was doing without having a strong winning bot lane. That becomes a lot harder to pull off, and if you do that without a winning bot lane, you end up just kind of inting.
And because of that little misplay, he did end up getting invaded quite a few times, was killed in his own jungle, was just not allowed to farm, and he was just starved out of resources. And this is a very jungle-centric meta, even with these nerfs. Junglers are the ones who are allowed to affect the map. So putting those special champions behind makes it a lot harder for them to play. And I definitely can say jungle differential and mid differential for game number 1. So we are going to be going to draft real quick. And if you guys do want to keep up to date with the brackets, with what's going on with the other matches of the quarterfinals, use !multi or !multistream, and you'll be able to check out what's going on in those other matches. So we'll bring you an update on that in just a second, but we'll go to draft before that.
Yes, sir. Here we go once again. Game 2, playoffs, baby. We're here and we're ready to get down. Second match of the day for the Falcons versus the Panthers. Falcons on the blue side, Panthers over there on the red. It should be a pretty good match. Oh, and there it is. First pick, or first ban away there for the Falcons is going to be that brand.
Yeah, and that's one of the fun things about being able to pull out a pick like that in the first game, is that you buy yourself a ban for the rest of the series, essentially. Which, while it does kind of suck if you can't win without the pick, I don't think that's going to be the case for the Panthers going forward. I believe they'll still be able to find success even without picking Brand. I think Defoe has a lot left in the tank, even without that pick on the table. And so I'm going to give up on even talking about Seraphine. Just know that at this, just in general, if I don't mention Seraphine, it's because I know for a fact these teams just, for some reason, aren't going to pick Seraphine. whenever I'm talking about something, whenever I say this might be the best pick here, it's because Seraphine isn't here. No matter what, Seraphine, great pick, no matter where it is, and whether it's like mid or support anyway. No matter where it is in the draft, I should say.
Hey man, even flex into that bot lane, you know? You feel me?
Yeah, that's
you
true.
put it down there.
You can even put it in ADC. It's been ran so much. I mean, like Seraphine's so strong right now. The fact that it's not in either team's arsenal, is something that, like, if I were like, or if my team that I'm coaching said like we can't play Seraphine, I'm like, no, that's changing. You play Seraphine now. It's just so like because that opens up so many doors.
Oh.
Oh my God!
Oh.
Yes, yes. I'm
And
so
then
happy right
maybe-
now. Okay. So we
You
do
get the
get
first pick
Seraphine.
Seraphine. Oh man, first pick Seraphine this time around, and my boy Shogun, you had a little bit of a stroke there, man. You're real happy to see this come out this time. Oh man.
It's a really strong pick, as some people are pointing out. I mean, once you build a Moonstone Renewer on that champion, again, you put that mid lane, you put that ADC, you put that support, and you have a huge shield on your W that you can cast twice sometimes. That also will apply Moonstone Renewer once. And then if you build Chemtech Putrefier, you apply Grievous Wounds to everybody that you hit with your shield and your heal. I mean, the champ's just so strong. And of course, her ultimate, the amount of utility it could provide, it has the potential to hit everybody on the enemy team. And the more people it hits, the more it extends. So it's just a really strong ultimate. You could hit it from really far away. And of course, if you know how to use the flash buffer with it, where you start up the R and then you flash to make it go a little bit further than it would have. If you know how to do that, it's really, really good. Of course, the Panthers have an answer. If they want to put the Seraphine into support, they say, all right, so we're going to go Samira Alistar. And if you dare put the Samira in this lane, you're screwed. However, there's a pick. There's like this secret pick that is really, really good into Samira Alistar. Once Samira got released, I can't take credit for it getting into the meta, but like the team that I've been helping out has ran this a lot, which is Galio support. Galio support has come into the meta very recently, and Galio support back then into Samira was one of our pocket picks. It was really, really strong. It shuts that lane down, especially when it was Samira Pantheon. You can't do anything into Galio. That entire champion shuts down Samira's whole kit. It's a great pick. I highly recommend any team that plays in competitive to try that out if the other team picks Samira. It's a pretty solid one.
Yeah, very good pick down there. So that Galio, honestly, I've played quite a bit of Galio support. I think it's pretty good. That AoE taunt can just do a lot of work when it comes to people diving you and just going straight into you. And not to mention that E can really shut her down if she just try to dash onto you. You just have a lot of CC, and at the early stages, that Galio can do a crap ton of damage. So we're seeing the glacial comp here from the Falcons here coming out so far. Sejuani plus Ashe, it's going to be a lot of CC for them so far. That's 3 big AoE ultimates, or 3 big CC ultimates, excuse me, that can really lock people down. You have that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, that Glacial Prison from the Sejuani, and then you have that Encore there from the Seraphine that can just do a lot of work, especially when you combine these 3 to really set up a team fight. So I'm really giving the team fight so far towards the Falcon with just these 3 picks.
Yeah, so far the team fight looks really, really good for the Falcons. Something I do want to point out, though, is the fact that they picked Sejuani so early. It doesn't really matter because they just picked Wukong, which could go jungle or top. But that being said, Sejuani, something I think is a little bit of a mistake is you can pick your support here, send the Seraphine mid, pick a stronger support into the Alistar Samira, because you already know what the bot lane is. Now the Panthers they can ban supports, because if Seraphine goes bot, even though Seraphine Ashe at one point was a really strong lane, Samira Alistar just kind of rolls that. So if I'm the Panthers, I'm like, well, what exactly are they thinking here? I'm just gonna ban top laners, I guess. That being said, Sejuani, I didn't really like, because the Panthers still could have picked a jungler, and they could have picked something like Graves. They can pick something like Udyr. And all of a sudden, Sejuani has a really, really hard time keeping up. And the fact that they banned Malzahar means that they're scared of Defoe more than they're scared of like the entirety or the rest of the Panthers team as a whole.
Yeah, really scared of just him coming out with these pocket picks that he does have. Probably not even predicting that it's going to be a Seraphine in the mid lane. He has played a little bit of it in solo queue, so he might even bust it out this game, but it has been mostly going down to Nairo in their past weeks, in their past matches over there, so we'll see what they end up opting into. They still have these last 2 picks. Solo lanes are probably going to be here for the last 2 picks. They do have, they don't really have a counter. They're only going to have 1 lane to really pick that counter for here. So we'll see what Panthers end up picking up here. That Wukong is a flex pick. We've seen Angradas played it. We've seen Sugar Daddy Draven play it as well. So pretty versatile pick over there for the Panthers. And again, it's just going to be interesting to see where they end up placing this pick. Again, that Samira Alistar, pretty strong combo. We've seen Alistar rise into the meta heavily across all regions around the world and pro, and we're seeing it here in like amateur and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good pick here. It gives you a lot of engage, especially when you combo it with something like this Wukong here. And then if you pair it up again with something like the Gnar, even more engaged. So Samira's gonna have quite the beefy front line here to play around, and this Wukong can just set up to dive the back line.
Yeah, it's Panthers looking like they have a very, very strong team fight as well. It seems to be an all-engaged comp. I'm just saying, if there's any way they're able to lock in Orianna, I'd be very scared if I'm the Falcons. I think if you see Wukong and you see Alistar, you gotta ban Orianna. That being said, the Anivia would still be up, I think. So I think you would want to go ahead and get rid of Malzahar. Go ahead and or you would keep Malzahar on the board, get rid of Orianna and Anivia. Then you look at their team comp and you say, what does Malzahar realistically do here? Not much. We just buy the Malzahar tax and everyone should be pretty okay. And okay, so that's what I expected. I expected them to go ahead and pick a support and send Seraphine to the mid lane, just because Seraphine into Samira feels really, really bad. So I really like that flex. And Renekton into Gnar, pretty standard pick, pretty safe lane for the Renekton. He should be able to thrive in that top lane, just like he was on Irelia. It's just now can the rest of his team do a little bit better than they did last game? And if they do, I think they actually have a much better chance of winning this one.
Yeah, and honestly, I really like the composition here from the Falcons. It's very straightforward, front to back. We're going to defend our carries, play to peel the Ashe and the Seraphine, and then start a fight with the Sejuani plus Leona. So very straightforward plan here from the Falcons. Should be very interesting to see, because Panthers have opted in for something very similar for themselves, where they have kind of this dive comp with this Lux that just likes to pot shot in the back line and poke out over there. So not too bad over there as well for the Panthers. But honestly, Falcons I think have won the draft this time. They opted in for the Seraphine this time around, and they have a lot of CC on their composition, combined with it, and pretty decent team composition overall. The team fight should be good. Seraphine Ashe have a decent amount of push at the early stages, and unless Panthers can find these early kills, level 3, level 6, it can be very hard to get off into the races if you are that composition and you don't find those kills, right? It's kind of like the flip of last game, where Panthers are going to be the ones that really want to get off into the races, while the Falcons are just fine sitting back, scaling up, finding some of these more controlled fights around objectives and stacking those up. So we'll see what they end up doing this game, because the Panthers have a pretty good chance, are up 1-0, have honestly the mental up in the game as well. They kind of stomped and rolled over the jungle, so we'll see if Jeevan can do a better job this game to come back, combat some of those early invades, and if the rest of his team can help him out, because last game he was kind of left on an island. Only the top side of his map was playable around, and was not able to even really go up there that much. So hopefully Jeevan this time around on that Sejuani can make something happen. Is a little bit more of a facilitator in this game on that Sedge, while the rest of the team is there to just do the bit damage and set up around these objectives. So Jeevan and the Kumi going to be looking pretty good here. You do have that Renekton in the top lane to play around as well. You can get that glacial passive with those melee auto attacks on him as well. Lock up that Gnar as well. You stack up the Fury. You can get a 2-second stun on top of that glacial passive there from the Sejuani. You can really just lock somebody down for about like 3 or 4 seconds. So should be pretty good up there on the top side for the side of the Falcons to gank. And we'll see if they end up opting into it this time around, because Palter last game ended up getting that solo kill very early on against Sugar Daddy Drape.
Yeah, so I agree with everything. I just have one problem, which is Lux. I've been racking my brain this entire time trying to figure out why Lux. Now, I will preface everything that I say real quick by saying that I did doubt Brand the first time Defoe pulled out Brand, and he popped off with it. So there's that. That being said, Lux, if you win on Lux here, it is because you're just a better player and you have a better team. And it's not because of this champion. It's just not true. Lux is... There's just no reason to pick Lux here. If you can't play Orianna, which everyone can play Orianna, I'm going to... like, I could play Orianna to a serviceable degree. You just throw the Q out, you E it, or you use your W for your combo. That's pretty standard. Then you E it back, and all of a sudden you just proc electrocute. That's crazy. And you put your ball on somebody. You are able to get the ultimate off. It's really... You have 4 people who can deliver the ball. This is the dream Orianna comp. This is beautiful. This is awesome. You have Gnar, you got Wukong, you got Alistar, the Wombo combo, and on top of that, you could put a Shockwave, and then Samira goes in, and she does the Whirly Bird all around him and melts him. It's beautiful. Or you could play better Lux, or AoE Lux, as I like to call her. You could just play Nico, and you do everything Lux does, but it fits your comp better. Lux doesn't do what your comp wants to do. Lux is looking for picks. Lux is looking for poke. You're setting up the engage, but at that point, it's like, why pick engage to begin with if you want poke? It's very anti-synergetic. There's a lot of other mid laners that you could go here that work really well. Lux is okay, but there's so many really great options that could have been had here.
Yeah, I agree with you completely in that statement that the Lux is quite the oddball pick here. But one outlier that we got to point out, as you said at the very beginning to preface it, it's Defoe. This man, last week popped off on the brand. This week, already popping off on the brand. 8 up 3 of the bans for himself there, and then still had the pick for it. Maybe, not as comfortable on that Orianna as he would like to be, but again, as you said, everybody can kind of play Orianna there, so ending up with the Lux in his hands. He has played it in the past, has done pretty well, likes to play it in solo queue as well, has quite a high win rate on the champion, so, while it doesn't very well fit this composition, I think if you can just set up that mid lane, right, we saw him do it last game. You just get early push in that mid wave, you branch out, get some pressure for Ingratus around these early scuttles. You can just balloon that jungle lead, and then at that point, the team composition does not really matter that much. You're just getting the rest of your team ahead playing that Lux. So while yes, it's kind of troll in terms of the broader looking at it, right? It's just kind of the oddball pick. I still don't mind Defoe picking it if it's what he's comfortable on. You said it at the very beginning. If he wins this matchup, he's just the better player, and I guess he's trying to prove that today by pulling out that Lux and just trying to flex his muscles on it. But on the other side, though, the Kumi in Lux like 3.0, right? She does everything she can. AoE ultimates that has CC, base ability, CC with that beat drop, and then surround sound, healing, and shielding as well. So Seraphine, I think, honestly, just a better version of Lux at this current moment. So we'll see what he can do on that. But overall, I still give the composition a win to the Falcons just because of the amount of team fight and front to back safety they do have for their carries.
For sure. I think having that safety for Ashe and Seraphine is going to be very important. That being said, looking at the Falcons, they don't have a lot of damage. It's going to be a very strange game. Renekton's going to have to get ahead. Once again, this is a game where the Falcons have to play topside, or strong side top, weak side bot, which feels really bad when you're playing into Samira Alistar, but it is very necessary, I'd say, this game. and someone was pointing out Kaisa was still up. Would have loved to see Kaisa on either team. I think Kaisa instead of Ashe is better almost 100% of the time. And Kaisa also just better than Samira 100% of the time. But considering they were going for a wombo combo, I'm okay with Samira being picked up. And I'd be much more okay with it if there was more AoE mid laner. Not even just talk about the Orianna, the Nico as I was talking about before, but even like maybe a Victor that could have stunned. Just something with more AoE. Yes, Lux has her E that she can use. She can go ahead and root up 2 people. She can use her ult that can be considered AoE, I suppose. I guess it has something.
Yeah, a lot of different picks that we could have chose here, but Defoe ending up with that Lux here. But we're gonna send it off to break for a little bit as we get all synced up again. Shogun, we can continue this rundown in the game, but we'll be right back in a few just to get back into it.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like them, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like them, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
All right, we're back into the game today. We got the Falcons versus the Panthers once again. This is game 2 of the day. Should be pretty good so far. It's going to be a matchup to remember here because if the Panthers can secure themselves a 2-0 lead, it should be an easy sweep for them if they can just, break out the mental, break their brains, and if Defoe here can have another great showing in the mid lane on the Lux this time, should be pretty good. Okay,
Yeah.
hold that thought, because Sugar Daddy Draven getting some early autos. Not much gonna happen else though.
It doesn't
But
look like anything's going to be happening here. Standard 5-point, which I always like to see. No, then again, some action early is always fun, but it's always healthier for the match if absolutely nothing happens early.
yeah, for sure. If nothing happens there, no chance of getting cheesed very early on, and both teams not looking for that so far. But this Renekton up here in the top lane, alongside the Sedge, is going to be very, very high priority for the side of the Falcons to gank to get ahead, because as we were talking about earlier, not a whole lot of damage on the Falcons' composition.
Yeah, your main sources of damage are going to be Ashe and Renekton. You could say Seraphine. Building Moonstone Renewer means that you're gonna have a lot less damage. I suppose you could go something like, well, alright. Leona, I don't think you quite needed that ward, not necessary. And there's no way she should be able to walk in, right?
Ooh,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
He completely walks in, does not care at all. Kembo now getting locked up as well. A lot of damage going down onto the support, blows the flash very early on. And that's going to be the advantage going over to the side of the Panthers very early.
Yeah, looks like Panthers have a solid advantage with getting the Leona flash out. However, Ashe doing what she can to try to get the advantage back in terms of health at least. And is doing a decent job of it. Man, they managed to get level 2 first, which is actually really rare to see when you're playing against a Samira lane in general. And okay, well, Leona tries for it. And honestly, I think she has way more power if she holds on to it. Because, oh, what? Hold on. Okay, never mind. Wukong's just gonna leave.
Yeah. Just walks down there, flexes his muscles, shows off he's the monkey down there in the bot lane alongside the cow, wanting to, make it a zoo down there in the bot lane really early on. Cake Pulsar up here in the top lane so far, doing pretty decent against the Snar. Can be a little bit harder once he is in that mega form to fight him, but Sugar Daddy Draven has played the Snar several times before, and he's not a stranger on this matchup. So far though, Ingrata's getting the early pressure around these lanes. It's down about ACS, but it's not going to be the most. 2 camps is not that much very early on, but hold that thought, because there's some action down here on the bot side. This could be very well another fight that turned into nothing, because nothing happens once again.
Yeah, it doesn't. They did manage to pop the cleanse onto Samira, which is something. It should be up by the time she needs it again, which would be when Ashe gets her ultimate, so it's fine for her to pop that a little early. Something I do want to note is that Sejuani was actually able to clear her topside jungle, and Wukong still has not visited that side of the map. Does steal away the Scuttle Crab, though, and Sejuani's in some trouble.
Yeah, he's in some trouble here, getting real low. That Permafrost not going to be the most just yet. Kembo is here to try and defend here. It's still level 2, not having anything else here. And Grada's just going straight onto the Kumi. That's going to be a TP coming out as well. The Pulsar over here trying to get in here, get dirty, trying to get some damage down. But Alpha Saber on the other side, though, getting killed by Nairo of all people. But that's going to be a lot of damage coming down. And Grada's trying to find a kill. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. That's all 5 members getting blown up from the side of the Panthers. And if you were tilted from last game, just GG go next, FF15, because that's 5 kills at 4 minutes to the side of the Panthers.
Oh god, I could not think of a worse way for a game to open besides that happening at level 1. And that's almost never going to happen at level 1. The fact that it was we'll call it an ace for sake of simplicity. The only reason it's not an ace is because they're respawning too fast for it to be considered an ace. That's a 3k gold lead at 5 minutes in. That's a Wukong who's 3-0-1. As I was about to criticize Wukong for not farming his jungle, it doesn't matter because he just got 3 kills. So he's pretty far ahead right now, and now he can just go ahead and take his time farming the top side of his jungle. His team is doing very well for themselves, and I think they'll be just fine. Now, someone may say, now Shogun, I noticed the Lux hit a root onto someone in the Dragon Pit. Oriana can't hit a root. but Nico can, and that's my defense of the pick. Or my offense of the Lux pick, at least, and my defense of the Nico still. And you can't take that one away from me.
Laying down the argument very clear here, Shogun. I like that. I like to hear that. Again, this Lux just letting the one-man route, but Defoe trying to get aggressive here against Takumi once again. Nairo now going in onto the Alpha Seru down here on the bot side, and Gratis is here. The rest of his team is here. They're trying to find the kill. They're trying to find it. Alpha Seru barely getting away at the end. Gratis just taking one tower shot and running away. But again, that 2,000 gold lead starting to look very bad here for the Falcons very early on. Palter had to blow his TP. Sugar Daddy Draven just TP'd back to the top lane, and I didn't even have to just walk down to that fight. And at the end of the day, it's going to be advantages all over the map, while the Kumi still has that. Oh, Lord, he almost gets killed there. But again, he still has that TP to get back to the lane. Not going to mean the most. So overall, feeling decent in this mid lane. It is down about 20 CS, but isn't going to mean the biggest advantage here. Defoe just getting the better of these the early stage of this game, and now it's going to be mean an early dragon over there for the Panthers. So making this making this gold lead look easy and transforming it into objectives around the map. That's what you want to see. That's a clean play. But Nairo going in, flashing in onto Alpha Saber. That's going to be the extended CC from Woven Alchemist. They're going to be able to find the kill, but that's a second going over to the cow. Not going to be playing your cowbell after that one, because that's going to feel pretty bad for Woven Alchemist. At the end of the day, you kill the AD carry, you get a cushion another 2 waves, makes that loss over there feel pretty bad. But again, Jeevan could be in a bad spot here again against Angratis. He stole the Scuttle Crab earlier. Is he going to steal the red buff here? It's getting real low. 700 health on that buff. He's going to be able to do it. That's going to be the Q coming out as well. That's going to be rooted. Is Jeevan as well. And Gratis picking up a 4th kill. This Wukong is off into the races. Flying around the map, 4 kills on his head, 400 gold bounty, and now Kevo could be in a bad spot as well. Knocks him back, uses Pulverize now as well. Kevo get real low, a little bit more damage will do it. One more Q, one more auto, and Gratis picking up his 5th now. This man is on fire. This monkey does not want to let up. That's a shutdown though. Going over to Alpha Seru, 700 gold in his pocket. Gonna be pretty decent for himself, but at the end of the day, you just lost your bot lane and your jungle.
And that's all a part of the plan. We give the Wukong like 1,500 gold so we can cash in on 700. That's how we want. That's how the Falcons are gonna want to put that one at least. Ash managing to get 700 gold for herself, but as I said earlier, that's a 5 times 3, 50, or 5 times 300 rather, 1,500 gold over to the Wukong. Yeah, not what you want to have happen. The fact that he has so much money from kills alone, and well, that was just rude. Sarah's just gonna walk away from that one, and now has to stay for an extra wave, which is so. Leona ends up making Samira shove in that entire wave, because if she doesn't, Ashe just comes back and does it as well. And what they can actually do if the Falcons are smart enough here, never mind, they're able to push that lane.
Oh lord, poor Jeevan. This man has been getting bullied all series. Gets real low there, almost goes down at the end of the day, but Palter is here, dashes over the wall, does not want any of that smoke. That's 3 members from the side of the Panthers over there, and he just gets away, does not want to deal with any of them, does not want to go down. And overall though, this is just camps and gold and everything getting bled over to the side of the Panthers, but the Kumi in a bad spot here, and Gratis is just solo killing him. The jungler is just too far ahead. 6-1-1 is Wukong now, and Gratis putting on an absolute clinic on what you need to do in the jungle, man. This guy is on fire. Now Sugar Daddy Draven is in a bad spot, but at the end of the day, man, oh, it's just looking real bad for the side of the Falcons.
Yeah, and I honestly can't think of a worse person for those 3 kills to have gone over to, and that debacle that that happened earlier where the Panthers got an ace. Because Wukong got 3 kills, he's able to take his wallet and travel around the world with it and just start whacking people with the amount of money that he has earned, and it hurts. It's a really fat wallet. It is not pretty. He's able to get kills in every single lane. Like say that goes to Samira. Yes, Samira can just walk at the bot lane, but Samira still has to travel to other places, and that's also just people being rude, just stopping the backs. Nothing else should come of that.
Yeah, not much else should happen here, but the full top side from the side of the Falcons is just getting pushed out away, and Grada's now getting locked up here by Kevbo. He could be very well in a bad spot. That's a two-man. No, that's a whole lot of damage. Pulse are getting real low. That's going to be the Seraphine ult on top of that. Did they just find the 2 kills that they needed to get back in this game? Not yet. That's going to be 1 going over to Sugar Daddy Dream, but Alpha Seru on the bot side by himself. The poor little Ashe is just getting picked on as well. This bot lane that you were talking about in the draft just can run over this Ashe Leona down here on the bot side.
Yeah, and when Leona shows that she is not there, all of a sudden, Alistar, who didn't even need... Oh, wait, no, did pop ult in that situation, is able to tank towers for years, and they're able to just walk at Ashe, who's alone, and you can't, unlike Ezreal, you can't leave Ashe alone, because Ashe has no way of surviving or outplaying under a tower. She just has to kind of sit there and auto-attack and W and cry. And maybe throw out an ult as well, because it's going to probably be point blank. Or it's just going to be blocked by Samira, and hold on a second.
Nairo sitting in the wings here, though, trying to start something up. Woven Alchemist still going to get away. At the end of the day, it gets rooted up again. Uses the cleanse now to try and get away, but then Alpha Saber just running him down with the slow auto attack. So Wally comes out to pick up the kill at the end of the day. Nairo not having to flash away as well. He comes out from Leona, though, finds the Q as well. That's going to be him locked up as well. Nairo could be very well in a bad spot. This could be 2 more kills. That's a shutdown. 450 gold going over to the Ashe as well. Man, it's a lot of things going well for the side of the Falcons. They find 2 back on the bot side. They get shut down onto the Alistar. And now this Ashe, while she just got destroyed earlier and just got, kind of banged down there on the bot side, it's feeling a little bit better. Got some more gold into her pockets, and 60 CS to the 80 of the Samira on the other side. But she's not doing too bad now. Feels pretty good after those 2 kills. Can pick up her item here. Probably going to be this Immortal Shield bow as well. And looking pretty good for himself now. Hold that, because there is another game pause.
Yeah, looks like some connection issues bound to happen when everything is online, of course. So hopefully it won't take too long. Something that I feel like the Panthers have to start saying is, all right, let's slow the game down. We don't need to let our arrogance take a hold of us. We got a huge lead. All we need to do is start slowly choking them out, and they actually can't do anything against us. We need to not give up any more bounties. The fact that they gave up the Wukong one and the Samira one already is really, really bad in terms of getting Ashe back into the game. Ashe actually, as of right now, pretty even in gold with Samira. Actually passed her in total gold, which for Samira is going to start feeling really bad. If Samira throws her lead, it'll be kind of scary. Of course, Wukong still 6-1-1, still has 1,300 gold up on the Sejuani, so it's not completely doomed if Ashe starts getting ahead, but the game becomes a lot closer than you want it to be, and it's not too late to just stop the over aggression now. You just use this pause. You say, all right, guys, let's calm it down. Just stop dying, and it'll be just fine. There should still be no way for the Falcons to get back in this game as long as we just start playing a lot slower.
Yeah, really need to just take a step back. Scale up, get some of these more of these dragons, more of these objectives, because we just saw the bot lane from the side of the Panthers just barreling down onto that turret, getting so many turret plates. But at the end of the day, they're still looking fine, not feeling the worst after all that happening. There was some jungle issues here for Jeevan over there. Did have a little bit of lag on his side, so we're going to be waiting for the okay, and then once we get back to that game, we'll let you know once we have all that resolved. But overall, though, 4,000 gold in the lead are the Panthers. They're looking real good. All the people that they wanted to get ahead have gotten ahead. This bot lane looking pretty decent themselves. Probably, again, feeling pretty good after that dive they did earlier. But giving that gold back to Alpha Seru isn't the worst. It's still, at the end of the day, is an Ashe. Not this huge hyper carry that is going to be going into the game. But as we get back into this, the game is on pause. We're straight back in, ready to go, and we're back into it.
Yeah, and here we go. We'll see what ends up happening next. And oh my god, that's so much damage. That all right. I'll give it this. When Lux is 40 CS up, yeah, she's gonna do a lot of damage from really far away, which really that's the main advantage you get from playing Lux, is you have a lot of range. Orianna especially Nico, not going to be able to get nearly as far as Leona is in some trouble.
Yeah, Kempo could be getting very well going down here, flashes over the wall and trying to stay alive. So at the end of the day, doesn't go down, but has to blow that flash to stay alive. Volley coming out here from Nairo to try and start this up. Alpha Saber trying to get some more damage down. Rooted up is Nairo now. Uses that Zenith Blade to try and find something, but that's going to be Enchanted Crystal Arrow landing onto Wolven Alchemist as well. The volleys are just doing so much work. They're getting so many slows down, but that's going to be the Inferno trigger on the backside of that. Barely staying alive at the end of the day with that Immortal Shield Bow, but they use the Rift Herald in the mid lane to try and get this down now. They just want to balloon this gold lead snowball, turn this into an avalanche. Now that's going to be another kill in the mid lane. Defoe picking it up with that Lux ultimate. That last spark just blows him up into pieces. Does not leave 1 inch of him, one little ash of that, that Seraphine on the other side. Again, 2 more kills found for the side of the Panthers. They're looking real good, and now they're just looking to end this game very early on. Sugar Daddy Draven gets a solo kill in the top lane. Looking real good himself. SDD, not your SSD, not this memory card. He is just breaking it out. Nairo might be in a bad spot here, though. That Zenith Blade misses somehow. And now the Alistar could very well get away. Wolven Alchemist is here to defend him. And that's going to be the Glacial Prison going out. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting there. A lot of skill shots missing for the side of the Falcons. Of course, the Glacial Prison. Swinging wide, it seemed like Sejuani just kind of stopped, looked, and was like, let me test the wind here, and then threw it out. And they weren't exactly where they thought they were. And hold on, Nard's getting ganked by his own opposing laner. He'll be just fine. And something I want to mention is when Nar starts solo killing Renekton, it's time to go next. At least if it's solo.
Oh, Lord. Oh, gosh.
Speaking of solo kills.
This could very well be another one, but that Dominus is doing work in keeping Palter alive. Sugar Daddy Draven does have these auto attacks, but the Sejuani is here and Gragas is here as well. This could very well turn very badly for the side of the Falcons, but Gragas wants to look for some more. That Glacial Prison is not going to land, or excuse me, that Permafrost is not going to get that last passive stack to proc it over there, but Defoe is here as well. That last part comes out, the E as well. That's going to be him getting another solo kill over here, and Gragas picks up the other one on the other side. This is just turning into an absolute destruction, dismay for the side of the Falcons. They thought they had a pick over there with Palter and Jeevan, and then it just got turned around on their face, and they're just getting blown up around the map. Now getting dove is this Leona. Kevbo trying to stay alive. Charmy's going to land, though. That's a lot of gold going into the Seraphine's hands. Akumi just getting away now. Nairo chasing down Leona, wants the blood, sees it in his eyes. This bull is ready to go. The Minotaur, the Minotaur. Kevbo just watching his mid laner die now, and it's just going to be wiping around the map. 10,000 gold in the lead about. Wolven Alchemist is going to Inferno trigger the ground here because he's bored, and then it's just going to be more towers going down from the side of the Falcon.
Yeah, and the Panthers able to do pretty much whatever they want. I'm surprised. That Renekton just sat there. Where the Alistar was. Didn't even really give you a chance to cast that. Sorry about that. It was just Renekton was just kind of standing under turret. Alistar says, "Oh, hello," and walks behind him and W's him out from under the tower, which was a little strange there. Definitely something that shouldn't happen if you're Renekton and you see Alistar. You go, you know what? You look at the gold of the enemy team, not the gold, but like all the KDAs. You look at the top of your screen, maybe. Look at all the towers they got, and you go, all right, you can have that one. I'm good. And you walk away. you just leave it alone.
You just leave it be, man. At that point, you're too far behind to even defend your towers. Now the Kumi, also in a very bad spot. That Phase Rush doing some work for Nairo, just sticking on to the Kumi very easily. Sugar Daddy Draven is here, uses that jump to just try and get around him. The Kumi couldn't find a one kill back, but Nairo is just too tanky. This cow is insanely tanky. Jeevan not even able to do any work on the other side of that. Leona is here to try and catch him out, but man, this is just turning into destruction from the side of the Panthers, man. This looking like an easy 2-0. Trying to find the sweep, trying to, go eat dinner or something, man, because they're playing on the clock.
Yeah, ready.
Okay. All right, we're back into it. We just had to get resynced there for a second. We were a little bit ahead of the stream there, but we're back into it, and this could be very well a fight here. This could be Falcons' last little hope around this Cloud Dragon. They don't want to give up that sole point, but honestly, you're just too far behind. There's going to be engaged started. Headbutt Pulverize coming out from the Alistar already. Kembo getting real low already. Arrow finds onto one. Woven Alchemist trying to find some more damage. It is in the front lines. Using the Inferno Trigger to find something to happen, but the foe picks up one on the backside. Seraphine picks up one back. Now it's going to be just destruction all over the map. This is just messy fights all over the map. The Kumi is just by himself now in a 1v4. Going to try and stay alive, but that's a lot of damage from the Wukong. He's going to go down as well. That's going to be the triple for Angratis. 10, 2, and 3. This is just a jungle diffy if I've ever seen one, man. This Wukong is putting on a show. Just making it happen. Sugar Daddy Draven going to solo this dragon now by himself. If he's able to do it, it's taking quite a bit of damage, but man, that was just quite the wipe from the side of the Panthers.
Yeah, and it felt like a win when they got Samira, and it's like, oh, their ADC's dead, but the Lux is still alive, the Wukong's still alive, you know, the Wukong who is now 10 and 2. Much bigger threats. I don't even know if I could call them bigger threats. There's just 3 massive damage threats on the side of the Panthers, and it feels so impossible to kill all of them, and realistically it is, unless you get the most godlike engage or you get a pick onto one, and then maybe in the team fight right after, if for some reason the Panthers are still that far up, you can go over to them and start trying to get their carries, but you need to find a pick first, and that just feels like it's not going to happen in a straight 5v5. It feels like there's no possible way for the Falcons to win.
Yeah, there's no real avenue for them to get back into this game. Their whole game plan was just to team fight and, you know, scale up, get up, you know, not play this super hyper aggressive early game, but that's not what the Panthers wanted. They wanted to, you know, seek their prey, stalk them, run them down at the end of the day, and that's what they've been able to do. 130 CS to the 75 in that jungle, man. It's about 3-level lead there for Angratis, just putting an absolute show on this Wukong. And again, I don't really know why he got through the draft. They opted in and banned all these other mid laners. I guess they're scared of Defoe, but it looks like Angratis has just been the difference maker in these first couple of games. You know, yeah, we gave credit to Defoe for popping off on that brand last game because it was well deserved, but Angratis has just been, you know, making it a 5v4 in the second game and in the first as well. So really need to look back at the draft, you know, think about what they want to play, maybe something a little bit more comfortable with. Hold that, because that's going to be a double kill now for the Lux. Last Spark picks up 2. Defoe getting locked up there. That's not going to be that much damage, though. Again, 0 damage for the side of the Falcons over here, and that's going to be Jimin going down as well. Woven Alchemist picks up a second. That's going to be 7 kills for Defoe there, but as I was just, you know, praising Angratis, I gotta praise Defoe too, man. That was a nasty little route he landed onto the backline members. Yes, he was set up by Nairo over there on the Alistar, but man, that was just, you know, really clean there from the Lux there, landing the last spark and blowing up both members.
Yeah, for sure. Defoe doing a lot of damage, and there is some more there as well. And it's just, this game's over. There's nothing that they can do. They're just dying.
Yeah, not much else to say in this game. The Kumi finds a 3-man charm. The Seraphine maybe wasn't the best pick here to pick, even though he has the most kills on his team there, or tied for the most kills. But the Falcons, after that first fight we saw where they got aced, it was kind of over from there, right? There was just too much pressure given away, too much gold, and now they're just diving the Nexus and picking up a couple more kills before they end the game. Panthers take the series up 2-0. Need one more to finish this one up and move on to the semifinals. We'll see if they can do it. But as we move into the loading stage here, into the end of the series, they're really going to need to bounce back if they want to make something happen. The Falcons are down very badly, not looking the best so far. And the side of the Panthers have just been putting on a show, man. They've been putting in work and making it look easy.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I mean, just getting that far ahead, it really, really helps a lot. And the biggest thing going into this next game, the biggest advantage that the Panthers have is most likely the mental. I can't think of a single team that wouldn't have, like, some form of damage mental going into the third game. But if the Falcons want to win, they have to have the mindset of, it's just another game. Like, this next game, like, you can't think of, oh, if we lose this, we're out. You got to just think, all right, we we need to win. It's just like another game. We're looking to win. And that's our goal. We're not looking to not lose. We're looking to win the game and try to reverse sweep this series. But the main issue, the main hurdle that you're going to have to overcome is looking at it like this big daunting task ahead of you, even though it is, realistically speaking. You kind of have to clear that out of your mind and just say, all right, one game at a time. Let's try to win this third game, try to win this fourth game, try to win this fifth game. And that's just easy as that. And that's how you got to think of it in your mind. But after games like that, it's going to be very hard. But if the Falcons can clear their mental, can do that, can maybe draft some more damage and not make tilt plays, I think they have a really good chance of at least taking another game off.
Yeah, at least making that loss look a little bit better at the end of the day. But so far, it's been completely in the Panthers' favor. Looking very good in the first 2 games, and overall, just outplaying their opponents. We said this earlier. If Defoe can win on this Lux here without the competition around him, it's going to be very, very bit of a mid diff and jungle diff there. So make sure you vote for your player of the game. I personally am going to be giving it to Ingratus this game. I thought he just absolutely popped off around the map. Make sure you vote for your own player of the game, though, in the Twitch chat. Just exclamation point to vote and then the roll. So make sure you vote for that. We're going to be back in a few seconds, or in a few minutes here. Excuse me, not seconds. That'll be very fast. But in a few minutes here, we're going to go to break. And then once the teams are set up, we'll be back for the third game.
There's no easy way to say it, babe. It's gonna hurt you no matter what. I've been trying to find a way, spent a couple dozen days, but this is all I got. Yeah, so just let me go, let me go, let me go. It ain't working no more. Let me go, let me go, let me go. Baby, just stop holding on and take it from me. You will feel better, you will feel better. It's hard to believe. You will feel better, you will feel better, baby. There's no need for a fight. Just repeat after me when I tell you goodbye. Give it 3 weeks, you will feel better, better without me. Better without me. Please don't make this any harder, babe. Please don't make it harder than it already has to be. Wipe those tears out of your eye. We both need a different life, so don't beg me not to leave. No, just let me go, let me go, let me go. It ain't working no more. Let me go, let me go, let me go. Baby, just stop holding on and take it from me. You will feel better, you will feel better. It's hard to believe. You will feel better, you will feel better, baby. There's no need for a fight. Just repeat after me when I tell you goodbye. Give it 3 weeks, you will feel better, better without me. Better without me. Don't need a doctor just cause you lost me. Don't need to open the wine. No medication, antidepressants. All you need is time. No communication, ringing me on FaceTime. Baby, I ain't picking up. And next time you see me, you'll be completely glad that we broke up. Take it from me, you feel better, you feel better. It's hard to believe. You feel better, you feel better, baby. There's no need for a fight. Just repeat after me when I tell you goodbye. Give it 3 weeks, you will feel better, better without me. Better without me. Better without me. Better without me. Better without me.
Welcome back, everyone. While I turn down this music, I think it's pretty obvious who was player of the game in game number 2. I think it was Angratis, and yes, chat has voted for Mr. Angratis as your player of the game, and he deserved it. Look at that Monkey King. He was the king of the jungle in game number 2, just like he was game number 1. It was a big win for him. He was able to get some really nice early kills. Last time it was all about the invades. To this day, it was all about the kills. He was taking kills left and right. He was taking names, taking numbers, and taking paychecks. And what do you guys think? I think he just played it really well. His pathing was a little awkward in the beginning, but I think it's because he was setting up for plays, but those plays just turned out really well.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to criticize his pathing because he didn't take any of his top lane camps, but then he gets 3 kills on the river
I think
when his team mixes them. So, I mean, you take those any day of the week. You take a 900 gold over, and I don't know if he got first blood. It might have been Alistar with the Ignite who ended up getting that, but you take the 900 1,000 gold that you would get from that over 4 jungle camps.
And I think those jungle camps aren't worth that much when, you get 300 gold paychecks right at the beginning, right?
Yeah, that really, cashing in, slapping around with a gold ingot that game for sure, and makes it happen. So Ingratus, I guess, yeah, definitely the player of the game. I think we can all agree. And Defoe also played really well. I want to point out one player though who is probably not going to get that much credit. Nairo over there on the Alistar was, constantly applying pressure to that bot lane. And not only that, he was moving around the map, making those nice map rotations, moved up to the Rift Herald at the early stages, was constantly there around the dragons. And at the end of the day, it was just, Diffie and the Jiffy once again. And then Gratis put on a show on that Wukong. And we'll see if Jeevan can, find a pick that he can really feel comfortable on, or even something to just counter up how Ingratus likes to play. That Echo he likes to play has been banned away both games. I don't think it's going to get it through the draft this game. It's been proven that, he can't really play some of these more tanky, more supportive type junglers. So hopefully he can pull something out. He likes to play Lee Sin, some of these more assassin-heavy junglers. And honestly, at this point, when you're down 2-0, I think you have to just go for comfort. And if that's going to win you the game, then by all means, go for it.
I mean, we see Comfort winning the Panthers games. I mean, that Lux did work. As much as I hate to admit it, Lux did a lot of damage, did the most damage in the game. So, I mean, you know what? If Comfort's what works for you, go Comfort.
Exactly. And Defoe has been allowed to play some Comfort picks, even though he has eaten so many bans. I think he's eaten 3 last game in game number 2, and then 3 game number 2, and then 1 in game number 1, but he ate, or actually 2 in game number 1, but he ate a lot of bans, and he was just popping out damage no matter what champion he was on so far. So apparently he was going for that ultimate CDR Lux, so he did go for that Luden's Tempest, I think followed up by that Cosmic Drive, so that just gives a crap ton of ability haste, just allows him to pop ultimates left, right, and center, and popping them left, right, and center he was doing the entire game.
Yeah, and I think that Lux pick, while it was curious to say, if you, at the end of the day, Defoe knows how to play that champion, right? There's a reason he likes to pick it. Knew where to play around the map. We saw him with that early rotation. Did not even walk through his the mid lane brush there. Ended up going around through his own jungle to the backside, and then he was just untouched during that whole first fight. I'm kind of pointing back to that first fight where they got the ace at the very beginning of the game. Did not get touched, and then when they tried to pull onto Angratis, he had the shield there to keep him alive, and then it just ended up opting in to where Angratis was just completely healthy, even though he was getting clapped by 3 members. So I think there's credit there to be made for Defoe, keeping his jungler alive, and then just being there to support him out as well.
Definitely. I just think everyone played really well. There were a couple of micro errors on both sides, but overall I just think it was well executed as a team from definitely from the Panthers. They were able to do whatever they wanted, but we are going to draft real quick, so don't forget to, if you want to check scorelines, do !multi, but we are going to get into draft, see how the other teams are doing. But well, tonight this is the series that we are watching. This is the series that's going on tonight, so hopefully other teams are doing just as well, but I think the Panthers are going to do some great work, and I hope the Falcons are able to rebuild. So I'll be right back.
All right, straight into the draft we go. Echo first ban away for the Panthers once again. They really do not want to see Jeevan have any of that comfort there for himself, so forcing him down into the lower stages of his picks. Senna once again banned for the Falcons. They don't want Wolven Alchemist to have that one, so same ban so far, and it's looking pretty decent for the Falcons once again, or for the Panthers once again, excuse me.
Yeah, and something I wanted to see the Falcons do is, as I said before, just ban five mid laners. Right? Like, yeah, it's you leave a lot of strong picks up, but let's be realistic. You get rid of Brand, you get rid of like some of his other stronger picks. I know Lux isn't one of his strongest. You can get rid of Malzahar, you can get rid of Anivia, force him to pick something that you can counter instead. Something like that, and and then you have a better time, or you force them to not pick a mid laner in that first rotation. Then you start banning out 2 more mid laners, and then you see what exactly can he play. Since it does seem like that's a very strong point of focus, I would say that their jungler is also really, really good. And Gratis showing how strong he was in that last game, but a lot of that was circumstantial. As much as I think he was able to pop off, I also don't think the Wukong is necessary to ban. I don't think it's because he was playing Wukong. I think it was his positioning that was really good. And oh my god, the Panthers also picked Seraphine. It's crazy. That's wild. I didn't expect that. I thought they just were gonna ignore it, but the fact that pick existed.
I guess they heard us, talking some crap in the draft or during last draft, so they end up picking up themselves. Lucian for the other side though, but again, Seraphine, they got the L last game, so hopefully the pick isn't cursed in this series. But Sugar Daddy Draven first picking that for his team. The Lucian being opted into for the Falcons is the flex pick on that side. The Kumi or Alpha Seru could be opting into that one. We'll see who it ends up going towards, but for now it's a decent pick. And there's the Shaco being hovered, and there it is, locked in. We're seeing the Shaco. Jeevan says, you know what? I'm tired of trolling these games. I'm going to play something I'm comfortable on, and ends up picking the Shaco. It is one of his most played in solo queue, does like to play it, and has a pretty high win rate on it.
So, they're just saying, let's all go comfort, because clearly going comps that we had prepared, going like all this fancy stuff just isn't working. Let's just, play our game. And I think at this point, when your back is against the wall, that's as good of an idea as any. That being said, Panthers say, all right, you guys play comfort. We're gonna squash it with some meta stuff. Going Seraphine, of course, pretty standard B1 pick. You can flex it mid, ADC, or support. Right now is just a mid support flex because the Jhin just got locked in. And Jhin Seraphine, still a very strong bot lane in and of itself. And we'll see what the third pick is, but I'm already really, really liking the Panthers draft.
Yeah, Panthers looking pretty good already. First 2 picks for themselves. Still have a lot of options to opt in here for their jungle and support picks, but the Graves is going to be locked in here. Has fallen a little bit out of the meta, but and Gratis has played it in the past, is pretty comfortable on the champion, so while he did not open him for the Hecarim this time around, they are going to still get him something he is comfortable on. So Graves gonna not the high intensity jungler that you can gank with and things like that, but you can still farm very well. So it's gonna be up to the Falcons to shut that down and not let Ingratus just power clear into the late game. So the Shaco, pretty decent pick here. Now it's gonna be the Blitzcrank being hovered here. Oh, it's actually locked in. That's gonna be the Blitzcrank down there for Kevbo. I'm interested to see what he's gonna be able to do on that, because that is quite the Poggers play, or Poggers pick there for Kemba over there. It's going to be another Hook champion. Did play the Thresh in game 1. Honestly, looked pretty decent on it. Had some questionable engages, but at the end of the day, he did land a lot of those hooks. So if he can pop off on this Blitzcrank, a little bit less of a, I would say, danger you put yourself in when you do Hook, because you don't have to go in. But it is going to be an interesting pick here. The Renekton banned away, as well as the Brand and Gnar for the side of the Falcons. So just not wanting to see these last few picks that they were able to get for themselves. Brand just taken away from Defoe once again. They don't want to see that Brand pop off as they saw in game 1. But we'll see what they end up opting in here. No mid lane or top lanes shown just yet.
You know, it's funny. This game, I'd actually be very okay with Lux. I think Lux fits really well here. Yeah, you have a very squishy comp, and that's what I would be mostly worried about. Is that Shaco actually gets to thrive in a situation like that. That being said, the way that the Panthers have been playing, as long as they just, you know, out micro the other team and just are able to outskill the Falcons, I don't think it really matters. The other thing I'd be scared of is Blitzcrank getting a pull off any one of these champions that you see here, except for maybe if Graves is stacked his grit. You're able to just one shot any of those champs should they get pulled in. Jin will have a very bad time against Blitzcrank early, especially if it's Blitzcrank Lucian, which is still a possibility. They could of course be sending Lucian to the mid lane, which is a lot more meta right now, but Lucian and Blitzcrank will absolutely.
Oh.
That is okay. So this is
All right.
interesting. I'm really liking this Falcons comp right now.
Yeah, it's complete comfort over here for the Falcons, which I honestly am fine with. You know, you're down 0-2. You gotta make something happen. You gotta, you know, have this pop-off performance if you want to come back into it. If you want to start that climb back to that reverse sweep. But Panthers over here just going for the complete God composition. A lot of poke so far. And then you put this Malphite to just stand in front of everybody and start a fight. It can be very easy to just to engage on people and you know, make these big plays happen. But Panthers, you know, going for a much more standard composition. The Falcons really looking over here to skirmish and just get down and dirty in these fights and, you know, find whatever they can, look for solo kills, all this kind of stuff. All the kind of stuff that I like to see. So hopefully Falcons can make it happen. But there is still a good chance that the Panthers have a very good composition into that type of style where they don't have to risk a whole lot for themselves. So Panthers here on their last pick, going to be the Anivia, and again, it's just going to be this huge amount of wave clear, this huge amount of AoE damage that they have for themselves, a lot of poke, and just great setup around objectives with that Anivia wall, with the Seraphine Qs and ult, and just a Malphite that can just sit in the wings and just flank your team. So pretty standard composition out of the Panthers so far, and it's looking pretty good for them already.
Yeah, it's looking pretty solid for the Panthers. I like their team comp so far. It's a little strange to be able to try to pull off, but it makes it a lot harder for the Falcons to try to walk in. That being said, if the Blitzcrank is able to find a pull on anyone not Malphite, it's very, very scary, especially if that person is a Nivea. All of a sudden, the Panthers are in a bunch of trouble.
Ooh,
Because,
okay.
and the Ahri as an answer to Anivia's wave clear. So, early, like pre-6, I'd say Ahri has the advantage in this lane. She's able to push it a lot faster than Anivia can. Anivia doesn't really have a lot of early pushing power. That being said, once they hit 6, Anivia is able to keep up with what Ahri wants to do, which is shove in the lane and then, you know, look to go somewhere else and help out a different lane. So we'll see how that matchup ends up going.
Yeah, it's just, you know, pretty standard around the map. You have that Anivia into Ahri. Nobody's really going to go too aggressive there. We might see a little bit of action from the Ahri there, but Anivia really just looking to scale up, get her Leandries, get some more items under her belt. Same with the Graves. The Jhin you can play a little bit more aggressive, and I think he does do pretty well into some of these more aggressive matchups. Can trade pretty decently, but you know, if you get hooked by a Blitzcrank, you're kind of just dead from that Lucian. So gonna be very, very important that they don't get killed down there on the bot side floor, full of an Alchemist and Nairo, because if that bot lane starts to balloon over there for Alpha Seru and Kevbo, you can really just get to the wings and get racing with that Lucian Blitzcrank, move around the map, make plays around the objectives, and just overall secure yourself some really good advantages early on into the game. But overall, I think it's pretty standard composition again from the Panthers, and I'm still going to give them the edge over in this game, even though I do like the Falcons composition quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I really like both compositions, but the way the Panthers have been playing, it's really hard to not give the game over to them or say that it's sided towards them. So we'll see how they end up doing. It'll be very interesting. This game is going to be strange for sure. Especially considering we have a Shaco and a Jax. There could be a lot of early action.
Yeah, Shaco Jax, very solo queue heavy champions that you're usually going to see there, not usually played in competitive, especially Shaco. Jax usually comes out as a counter pick, but it was the 4th pick over here for the side of the Falcons. Opting into it with knowing that the Malphite was still up, so not really scared of that pick over there for the side of the Panthers. But Jeevan over here on the Shaco is quite comfortable on the champion. We'll see what he can do on that. Honestly, it's a nightmare to play against that champion sometimes, but usually when it comes to more competitive and pro play, things like that, you're not going to see it just because a lot of people know how to play around it, and at this stage of the game, or at like this level of play, it can be a little bit harder to execute and secure some of those leads. But you know, if at the end of the day, if you can pop off on a champion and you're comfortable on it, why not play it? Especially when you're down in a situation where you're 2-0 in the play, down 2-0 in the playoffs, and you could very well be ending your split right here if you don't make a comeback. So that's what's going through the heads of the Falcons over there, and they really just want to make a comeback happen. They don't want to go home just yet, so looking to play their hearts out here, opting for comfort, opting for a little bit more aggressive picks, and they just want to throw down.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see for the Falcons. Falcons definitely wanting to make a lot happen early is the name of the game. Yeah, Jax can't really do a lot early, but Lucian Blitzcrank definitely. If they get a pull onto Seraphine or Jhin, that's a kill, or at least a summoner spell coming out.
Yeah, 100%. Because Jhin, Seraphine, not the most mobile champions down there, unless you have something like the Gale Force to help you get away from some of those hooks. But that Jhin really gonna have to play safe and play to just look to scale a little bit, because the Graves as well cannot really gank some of these lanes. You usually just want to sit around the jungle, farm up your camps, power clear, and then opt in to play around the objectives with the rest of your team. But if Angradas can get off and pressure around the map against Jeevan, it could be very good for himself and the rest of his team. Can secure himself some objectives. Graves just one of the best clearing junglers in the game. Even after the nerfs, even after the jungle XP nerfs, he still is quite viable. We don't see him a whole lot now in pro play, just because there's some things that are a little bit better, like the Udyr, things like the Hecarim just can do a little bit better job of clearing and things like that. So opting in for the Graves here, and Gratis is again quite comfortable on the champion, so gonna be looking pretty good for himself in that jungle. Has that Malphite to play around, has the Anivia, so has a decent amount of setup CC to play around as well. So if he does opt in for ganks, they should be pretty easy to execute around the map, because Jhin and Seraphine as well have those 2 CC abilities to set up for.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. I'm looking at how team fights are gonna go with the Anivia. Usually I'd say that she causes teams, it makes it a lot harder for teams to walk into her. That being said, Jax, Shaco, Ahri, and Lucian all have ways to get over her wall. So if their escape is cut off, they all have a way to dash out, assuming they have those abilities up. Or if Anivia is trying to kite away and tries to get away, they have a way to go forward or through the wall, of course. But usually doing that is a very dangerous idea. And that all being said, if Anivia puts her wall up, Blitzcrank could always get the pull off, and then things get really, really dicey for Anivia.
Yeah, the onus is really going to be on the side of the Falcons to make these plays happen, because they have that Shaco, that Jax, Lucian. It's not like really the only members that scale on the side of the Falcons are that Jax, and somewhat that Ahri. Lucian can fall off pretty hard. Shaco, he falls off around the later stages. So it's really going to be up to them to secure themselves an early gold lead and to play really aggressive around the map, because if you're not getting ahead in these situations, if that Malphite's going even against that Jax, it can be very bad at coming later stages of the game where you're just getting outscaled. Not to mention that the only threat to this Malphite is really that Ahri only has that AP damage for themselves. The Blitzcrank, yes, can do a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's not going to do the most. But again, coming back to your point, that Blitzcrank, if he lands a hook on pretty much any one of these members, it's going to be a kill. So it's going to be very important for Kevbo to find these picks, find these plays around the map. They have just kind of put all the cards into this hyper-aggressive composition. And as we load into this game, I'm going to be interested to see if the Falcons can come back from this 0-2 so far gonna have to make these plays happen. And in a few minutes or in a few seconds here, we'll be back into the game. We're gonna send it off to break. We'll be right back.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the LAS Draft Playoffs. We're back here. We're ready to play. Third game of the day so far. We got the Panthers versus the Falcons. It's going to be another banger. The Falcons not wanting to go down here, opting in for some more aggressive picks over there. They did opt in for the red side this time around. Blue side for the Panthers. And now we could see some early action here as all 5 members are stacked on both sides.
Yeah, so I actually really like this approach to when the other team has a blitzcrank. Going for the counter invade is very interesting, and oh my god, they actually might meet up. I thought they were going to go deeper in, but they have an idea of where the blitzcrank is.
They scattered it out. Blitzcrank walking under, getting scattered out by that tower there. No wards have been placed though, so nobody really has any other vision there. I would have liked to see at least a red or a blue side ward go into the top of the red side jungle, but it doesn't happen. And now all 5 members here are just stacked up. I would like to see Sugar Daddy Draven start to walk the lane, but has not started it just yet. But again, I'm gonna run down the teams real quick. The Panthers on the blue side, Falcons on the red. We got Sugar Daddy Draven up in that top lane playing Malphite, and Gratis in the jungle playing Graves. Defoe in the mid lane playing his Anivia, which has been banned away twice now. Wolven Alchemist and Nairo playing that Jhin plus Seraphine down there on the bot side. Now for the Falcons, they opted in for aggression. They want to fight and go around winning. We got Archaic Pulsar up there in the top lane playing the Jax. Jeevan32 in the jungle playing Shaco. The Kumi in the mid lane playing Ari, Alpha Seru, and Kevbo down on the bot side playing Lucian plus Blitz. So action gonna be for sure this game. The hook goes wide already. Bouncing Betty hits onto the Blitz as well. A lot of damage going on so far, but 2 minutes in the game, not a whole lot gonna be happening at the very early stages. Just standard clears for both junglers.
Yeah, and I really like to see this. Well, okay, I was gonna say it's a standard clear. Graves did not actually take his Krugs, and he's pathing once again, really strangely. Oh no, he's going for the red. I see, and
going for the red steal on the top side. There was a flash for flash down on the bot side. Kevbo going on to Wolven Alchemist with that hook, but Graves over here on the top side, stealing away Shaco's jungle. Jeevan, if he wasn't already tilted, will be after this. So hopefully they do spot it out. The mid laner from the Panthers is here. Defoe is just pressuring onto Jeevan. Does steal away some of those chickens as well. So Gonna be in a rough spot here, this Shaco is, and not even gonna be able to finish clearing his chickens as well. So G-Vin looking in a bad spot already to start this game off. Oh, but he is trying to fight here against Ingratus, does not want to give away these dragons for free because Palter is here. They could very well find a kill onto him, but not going to look for it at all. So overall, Graves comes away with that, coming with a free red buff from the side of the Falcons.
So I actually think the play here right after that is you grab your Shaco and if you're Shaco, you say, hey, that wave is crashing under your tower. You do not need to be under that tower right now. Let's go invade his blue. Let's go invade Graves' blue buff, and then you have Ari also managing to get some wave prio or lane prio as well, and you could be able to either force Malphite to lose XP and lose minions to go ahead and help Graves secure that buff, and you don't really lose anything yourself if you go ahead and do that, or you end up getting the buff and a kill if Graves stays. And I think that would have been the smartest play in that situation, but instead they kind of waste that opportunity.
Kevo just using the W to try and get some pressure around this bot lane, but again, going back to that jungle point you were just talking about, man, I think the bot lane from the side of the Panthers as well were just able to spot out where G-Vin was going to go to. He didn't have any of his bot side camps up. They knew this because he had hit level 3 before he went to these chickens, and as soon as you know that, you have the information that his real only play after you steal his red buff is to go down to the bot lane. We saw him hovering in that bot lane bush, and now Kevo trying to find something down here on the bot side. Ignite does come down. They do find the hook back onto Nairo. That's going to be nasty so far. Alpha Saber finding a whole bunch of damage. Autos the minions of all things, and now he finds his first blood onto one, but Woven Alchemist finds one back. He's going to be able to fight in this minion wave now. Alpha Saber trying to find some more damage onto Woven Alchemist. He does have the level up. He is going to get some extra HP, some more damage, some more stats, and he does find the kill at the end of the day. That's 300 more gold into his pockets. Those minions almost take him out, but at the end of the day, Alpha Saber finds 2. Woven Alchemist finds 1, and it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade down on that bot lane.
So, just a tip for anyone who plays the league a lot and likes to go for dives or fights in a huge minion wave. There's a setting that you can have where you can toggle for your auto attacks to only target champions, which is really, really good if you're going for a dive. I remember seeing in the last game of the game before that, the Gnar hit the tower instead of or auto attack the tower instead of the person he was diving like twice. And a setting like that is something that I didn't really start using until like a month ago. And I only started using it because I missed. Oh, hold on a second.
Ooh, Kevo trying to look for the steal. One more auto does it. Nairo does pick it up for his team alongside Angratis and Defoe. But back to your point, Shogun, about that setting.
Yeah, which was, I only started using it because I missed out on really easy kills because I autoed like the dragon or the tower or something, and it made me super, super tilted, and I never wanted that to happen to me again. So I learned about that function, and it helps a lot when you go for dives, and that really hasn't happened to me since. So highly recommend that if you don't know about that setting or if you don't use it, to learn about it and to start using that one for sure, because it is very helpful.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Have mines on caps lock, but 3 men on the top side here. The Kumi unable to find the charm there on to Sugar Daddy Draven. Goes wide there. But again, yeah, going back to that point, it is very helpful when it comes to, when you're around minion waves or around objectives, things like that. Just really helps out when you're fighting around these things and you can't really tell what's gonna, happen there. So it's gonna be up to the side of the Panthers right now to continue and stay relevant, stay even in this game, because if you don't let this Jax, this Shaco get off their feet, they're really not gonna be able to do much at the later stages. Or excuse me, if you don't let them get ahead early, they're gonna be kind of useless. Besides that, Jax, who does like to scale, the Shaco does fall off quite hard, so it's gonna be up to them to try and find some early engages. He is opting in for the AP Shaco build, went Dark Harvest as well, so it's gonna be up to G-Vin try and make some stuff happen, because the last 2 games it's really just been a jungle difference.
Yeah. Ooh. Have a fight in the jungle right now.
Yeah, we might see a fight happen. Alpha Saru now getting low on the other side of that. Kumi is by himself. Hits the charm onto one. Not going to be the most just yet. The Colin comes out onto Gratis. Finds a lot of damage so far. Wolven Alchemist is trying to find something else onto Alpha Saru. That's going to be the Deadly Flourish landing. Tries to find the flash in. Does not auto him in time. Autos Kevbo instead. But at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen. TP comes in from Sugar Daddy Draven. The red side back off. The Falcons want none of that smoke.
No, they definitely don't want any of that. They go ahead and back off, which is a very wise decision. Lucian still trying to scale or, snowball this lead that he has onto the Jhin, and they actually might get caught out as a result should they walk up to start pushing this out. Graves is going to be a little patient, should know that they don't have any vision in this bush. That being said, Jin's auto-attacking the wave right now and didn't really need to be, and now, there's no way this gank ever happens. I would just back if I'm Graves, or I would go start clearing my jungle, because there's no way this gank ever happens in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, surprisingly, the Graves is only up about 2 camps on the Shaco. After that red buff steal, I was really expecting it to be about a 20 CS or 15 CS lead in his favor, but so far he's not been able to do much more than that. But 3 members down here on the bot side, they're probably gonna look for a dive here. Here he is, Gratis finds the Q, finds the extra damage. Find it just yet. Deadly Flourish comes out, hits onto nobody. Wolven Alchemist is now taking the tower. That was just completely covered. But here is Wolven Alchemist to find the Q onto him. Arcade Halter and the rest of the team are here to fight. They want to scrap. They want to get down and dirty. Halter is now finding the Conqueror, finds some extra damage, finds the W, finds the Q. Not able to get the kill at the end of the day, but now the Kumi is going real low here. Defoe on the backside of that. Halter still wants to look for more. Malphite can't join because he's a TP earlier, but Halter finds one and Gratis goes down. Defoe is still looking for some more damage, but that's 4 low members on the side of the Falcons, but Jeevan is here now looking for the fight. They want it. The slow comes down. Defoe gonna flash over the wall, and he gets over to the other side. Walls it off. Does not want to get chased down. Pretty positive play there for the Falcons. So looking much better at the early stages of this game than they were last game, because pretty even gold lead. Only 1 dragon given up, and looking pretty good for themselves.
Yeah, definitely looking a lot better than they did in the first game and the second game. Also, Jhin, no idea what happened there. It got executed, didn't give a kill over, but does die under the tower. And I will say, if Jhin lives there, if Jhin doesn't just randomly die, I actually think they're able to get a lot of kills there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Jhin just didn't walk out of tower range or didn't play more to the left side of the tower. It was still tanking at the end of the day. Not really sure what that was from, but Wolven Alchemist tried his best there. Now it's a 6, so maybe next time he'll use the curtain call to start the fight instead of going under the tower himself. But Ingratus on the wrong side of that whole time did initially dive the tower himself, trying to find a kill, but not able to find it on Kevbo, and overall it's still a positive play for the Falcons. So looking pretty good for themselves over there on that side. But we'll see what they end up opting into over on the other side, because bot lane might be getting a little scrappy around this dragon soon.
Yeah, and Jax not able to really do anything to the Malphite, who has the arcane comment, as you were mentioning, does make it a lot easier of a lane. Apparently, doing a lot more damage.
Wow.
I feel like he should be doing.
Oh, Jeevan just by himself. The Shaco getting real low there. Halter just getting blasted up in the top lane. That's a solo kill, as well as Jeevan going down as well. So just as I was complimenting them, they just get clapped around the map. And Gratis and the rest of his team now on the bot side here, gonna look to pick up this Cloud Dragon and start scaling up with those dragons and look for the Dragon Soul.
Yeah, for sure. And also something I want to point out, the Malphite itemizing very well, going for the plated steel caps, or as I will now and only ever refer to them as Ninja Tabby, picking up that item, making Jax's damage output a lot lower, and also having the Bomby Cinder right now. I think that's what. Oh, wait a second. Ari should be out. And yeah, just really smart of him to be able to get those items so that Jax does not just absolutely melt him. And oh no, don't tell me.
Oh lord, that's a hook landing onto the Jhin already. Wolven Alchemist getting locked up by himself. Charm comes out as well. The Encore's doing a lot so far. Alpha Saber gonna be able to find something. Does not find it. Was autoing something else that whole time.
Oh no.
They do find the kill at the end of the day. Kevbo steals it away, but overall still gonna be a positive play on that bot side. Wolven Alchemist gets killed once again. But back to this top lane, because Pulsar right now, not not the counter pick that he wanted into this Malphite. Did end up having to pick up Jax first, and so far this Malphite is just getting the much better of this top side for his team. So maybe at the later stages, Jax will be more relevant, but right now Malphite is just much better of a champion than this Jax is.
Yeah, and well, we see them actually. Oh, there's a fight for the Rift Herald.
Yeah, there's posturing happening right now. Arcade Pulse dives, uses the Leaf Strike, now Counter Strike, uses that big nothing really to dodge out of it, and Gratis now finding the Rift Herald as well to even actually steals it away, but that's just going to be a complete wipe from the side of the Panthers. Graves picks up a triple kill, and now in a real good spot to balloon this gold lead even more.
That combo was so gross. The Malphite ult into a double stun for the Anivia means, yeah, whoever gets caught in that, they're just gonna die. Shaco and Ari have no way of getting out of that one. And all of a sudden, how good they were doing early, it's looking real bad now because they just don't have the they don't have the synergy, they don't have the damage, I feel like, that they need to be able to keep up. And it's not team synergy so much as it is a champion synergy that I'm looking at more so right now.
Yeah, for sure. A lot more of a team fight heavy here. A lot of these guys are able to lock up with their ultimates together. The Glacial Storm does so much when the champions inside of it are CC'd. And then you throw your E on top of that, and that's just going to be a big chunk and possibly a kill there for the Anivia. Defoe, once again, playing pretty well here, but again, it's Angratis moving around the map, finding what he needs to. While he did get that triple kill, he does not get all the credit. I do not give him all the credit for that. Definitely was set up there from Sugar Daddy Draven. My boy SDD up in that top lane, making it happen, sets it up with that unstoppable force, but Kevo is here, could very well get locked up. The Q misses wide onto him, gets locked away from the shield, has to flash over the wall at the end of the day. Gets away just fine, but has to put the flash, and now they have pressure once again around this bot side as this Rift Scuttler is going. A fight was starting up there, but the game does get paused. Apparently one of the members had to use the bathroom and somebody else was lagging out of Discord, so interesting pause here. Ari could have been in a bad spot, but should be okay so far. But again, running through this game, 2,000 gold lead for the Panthers after that last fight. Looking pretty decent in this game.
Yeah, if it's actually a ping issue, with Blitzcrank is saying that it's a big ping issue, and if you're lagging in and out of Discord, I can understand the reason to go ahead and pause it, because that would drastically impact the team fights. It's like, even if you're not a part of the fight, if you're a big voice in comms, not being able to be there, and especially if you're disconnecting and connecting, that can be a very distracting noise, so I could understand why they would want to sort that out. I can't blame them too much here, and hopefully we're able to get back into this one very soon. And that being said, this is looking like a pretty solid play for the Panthers. I doubt they're going to be able to get the kill onto Ari. I guess you could like put up the wall if it is up, but I don't know if that is the case. I don't know if I can. Okay, so yeah, it's on a 5-second cooldown right now, so there should be no way Ari dies here anyway. She wouldn't even need to blow flash or her ultimate. Or Anivia rather, has absolutely nothing that she can realistically use here, so should be fine.
Yeah, should be okay overall. Has that Spirit Rush and Flash, as you just said, but I just want to kind of run around the map and see how these lanes are going lane by lane. For the bot lane over there, Alpha Seru and Kevo have been doing a pretty decent job in securing themselves a little bit of a lead down there against Woman Alchemist and Nairo. That Jhin not doing the most for them over there. Again, as we were talking about, it lacks mobility, so it can be easy to pick him off. And so far, Kevo's been finding some pretty good hooks around the map, but as we just saw, had to blow his flash in that mid lane. Did get locked up there. Maybe it's the ping issues that he's having is why he walked down there and did not flash earlier, but overall still looking pretty good for himself. What do you think about that mid lane matchup overall, Shogun?
Generally, Ari should be the one that wins this matchup, but because Ari's not gonna get as much jungle pressure as Anivia, you'd imagine. It all of a sudden it would start swinging towards Anivia. So that's what really decides this is who has the stronger jungler in champion or just in like in terms of the player. And because Graves is 4-1, it's going to go Anivia's way. Not a lot Ari can do besides she would have to play out of her mind to negate the effect of how strong Graves is, and that's just realistically it's not possible.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for her, right, to even really do much in this game. Even if you do get that solo kill onto Ninive, she does have the egg, so it can be hard to take her out. But again, into that mid lane we go. Good to see some action there. Ari gets away at the end of the day, but still looking fine there. Andrade's looking for some more. Overall, though, the Kumi looking just fine. We're going to pause it here as we get back to the game. Just not much going to be happening. We're going to resync here. We'll be right back.
Yep.
All right. Now we're back from that short little resync, but we're back into the game, ready to go. Again, we were running down the lanes just as we were in that pause. I want to point out this top lane once again because this was not how I was expecting it to go at all. We were talking about a little bit about that arcane comment and how the Malphite is going to be able to do a little bit more damage with it, but I was not expecting Palter to get solo killed earlier, nor was I expecting him to just be down 30 CS in that top lane. I did kind of take a bad TP down to the bot side earlier when they found that kill, but I was not expecting it to balloon this much, and now Sugar Daddy Draven looking real good on the Malphite so far. Not to mention Immortal Shield Bow picked up for the Graves as well, and Gratis is going to be feeling real good after that.
And here comes the Blitzcrank, his hook will fly wide, and let's see if Seraphine might get a little brave, might walk up, might give Blitzcrank the chance for another one.
Yeah, Alpha Saber does want to look for this though. He is going in onto him. Nairo flashing. Not really sure what that was. Maybe playing a little bit disrespectful there after that pause, but Nairo definitely doing something there.
That was Nairo, not sure exactly what that was. And alright guys, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I've been so because we're technically behind of even like when the stream delay is, I can see when kills are gonna happen. I was really racking my brain to figure out what was gonna happen there. That wasn't it. That's not what I thought it was.
He didn't think it was a tactical hitman. And Gratis just casually picking up the kill on the top side here. It's just looking like another wipe up here on the top side, while bot lane is just giving away kills for free because not really sure why, but at the end of the day, Dragon is spawning up now, so looks like the side of the Falcons are going to opt into it. That's a TP coming in now from the foe. We'll see if he decides to go and look for some more. Sugar Daddy Draven, actually, excuse me. Alpha Saber getting locked up here. Sugar Daddy Draven just looking for the solo kill. Alpha Saber getting locked up by the Deadly Flourish. Does go down as well. Sugar Daddy Draven not by himself. Encore comes out, hits onto nobody. And that's going to be not much else happening, even just by himself into the Glacial Storm. That's the hook landing onto Wolka. They find it. The Kumi on the other side, though, getting killed by Ingratus. Immortal Shield Bow is popped, but not going to mean the most. The Sugar Daddy Draven does still have the ultimate. They're going to look for this. I'm excited to see if they're going to try and find it. Kevbo does find the hook. That's going to be him going in. Sugar Daddy Draven getting locked up under tower. Unstoppable Force gets some away and out, but that's going to be a lot of ultimates blown and a lot of CC being used there from the side of the Panthers. They're going to be looking for this kill over here. Nairo getting low as well. Jeevan finds one back. 8-7 is his kill score. 3 dragons in the favor of the Panthers, but they're still looking pretty good.
Alright, so yeah, the Panthers give up a lot of kills there, a lot of gold. That being said, they're on soul point. They're fine. It's okay. It's not what you want. It's not great, and well, this might be bad. No, it'll be fine.
Okay.
You just, and then the wall comes out.
Alright.
Yeah. So that's what I was talking about when I was saying that it's really, really hard to like walk at Anivia. She has so much self-peel. She has the wall for herself. She has the stun, and yeah, there's not a lot you can do to catch up to Anivia should she should she kite well with her abilities.
Yeah, Alpha Saber though, and Kevbo have just been getting the better of this bot side, but so far, Wolven Alchemist just having to flash away. Deadly Flourish comes out, hits onto him. Current call now being used onto the Lucian because Angratis is here trying to find something happen. Alpha Saber almost going down, but Angratis does have the Cataclysm, or the collateral damage, excuse me. Doesn't find it, and Alpha Saber gets away.
Yeah, and something I didn't expect was that the Panthers bot side not exactly playing as well as you'd want them to, but of course that's kind of to be expected when you're facing Lucian and Blitzcrank. From a player standpoint, I have thought they would at least not bleed gold like they're doing right now, but they have 7 deaths. Actually, yeah, all. My bad. I'm sorry. I forgot Jin was executed. I thought for a second that all the deaths were bot side, but technically Graves is still responsible for one of them. But that being said, having 6 out of the 7 be onto your bot lane, not great if you're the Panthers. Not
the best. As another hook lands, Nairo going down instantly. That's a lot of damage going down onto him. Alpha Saber and the rest of his team are here to try and find this happen. That's a double kill going over to the Lucian, and the side of the Panthers need to be careful because if this Lucian gets a little too far ahead, he is going to be starting to scale up very easily. Now opting in for that Essence Reaver second, and just another 2 kills going over to the side of the Falcons.
Yeah, they have it's a pretty solid look for this Lucian. The Kraken Slayer having been built already, and then the Essence Reaver going to possibly be completed on back. He has 1k gold. I don't think that's quite enough. I think he needs 1300 in order to complete Essence Reaver. Yeah, and he just sits on the 1k gold. I'd sit on the 1k as well instead of selling the Doran's Blade for some extra AD. I think that's fine. I might have actually stayed for some more money and tried to find something there. I don't know entirely how much money you need for the Essence Reaver, even though I really should.
Even just walking into 2 members was just caught looking at his map there. Has to use the phone at the end of the day. They do kill him overall. Now Kevbo's going to go down as well. Well, yes, they are getting kills on the bot side. The other 3 members on the top side are just getting barreled and rolled over. So, the Falcons really need to start, looking into where they need to go and start looking at their map a little bit more because that all started with Jeevan just getting caught out.
Yeah, and I will say, even though Jin and Seraphine are they are dying a lot and getting this Lucian a free lead, Anivia, Graves, and Malphite are also all getting very fed, and I think you'd take having 3 of your members fed as opposed to the other team's 1. So they got that going for them. I still think the Panthers are in the driver's seat of this game, especially when we see something like this happening.
Yeah, Gratis just blowing up onto Kevbo. A little bit more damage would have done if the wall comes out, keeps him in place, and Gratis now by himself up here on the top side with the foe, trying to make something happen. Looking for a couple more kills here, but again, Kevbo just gets caught sleeping, walking into his jungle. They catch him out once again, and now this Anivia's just doing so much damage just with the W. Deadly Flourish comes onto the Kumi, just finds it. Encore comes out as well, not able to find anything just yet. The Jin is just using that curtain call to find some extra damage, and now the side of the Panthers can very well look to just push onto this Dragon and then the Baron.
That seems to be the plan. They're going to send Malphite up towards the top lane, going to go ahead and TP up there to stop the Jax's advance, which I think is a great decision. And then they're going to go ahead and start up this Infernal Dragon, and that's Soul with no resistance.
Yeah, it was just kind of gifted to them in a pastry box. They had, some croissants in there and little pieces of fox, as the Kumi has been killed a couple of times here. But overall, the side of the Panthers are looking very good in this game. 5,000 gold in the lead, 3 towers down, have taken down every single first turret on the side of the Falcon side. So they're going to be looking pretty good here going into the 25-minute mark here. They have the Soul as well. Nairo could be in a bad spot there, but that Shaco is just not doing what it needs to be doing right now. Has gotten a couple of kills, but it's just still not enough to deal with the side of the Panthers.
And oh my god, that's going to be a lot of damage going down onto Shaco, but he'll be just fine, shouldn't be going down. And well, hold on, Lucian might be in some trouble real quick.
Oh, Lucian is in a bad spot here. Such a big auto attack. That's the second one with the crit as well. Kembo trying to find the damage. That's Gratis. He's going in. That's an alpha play if I've ever seen one, and he finds it. And Gratis now going onto Kembo as well. Defoe picking up the kill onto him, stealing it away from his jungler, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean much at all. And Gratis just blowing up Alpha Saber like it was nothing, and he still lives. So looking pretty good himself, but now he's just taking the chickens away. Jeevan could be in a bad spot as well, and Gratis is just too strong for anybody to really deal with. That Collector press Immortal Shield Bow by putting in work on that Graves, and now they can look for this Baron here. No contest. Nobody's really going to even walk over there. Just completely walking into that dragon for free, and now Wolven Alchemist and the Seraphine Nairo are going to be walking down there to help out the team pick it up. Should be a very easy Baron take.
And they have Jax ready to TP in should he need to. It doesn't look like they're going to call for that though, as Baron is just getting melted. Gonna go right over to the Panthers, and something I I think I need to mention is that Angratis proving that last game him getting fed wasn't really a fluke. Yes, he did get 3 kills at like 5 minutes into the game and that weird ace that happened. But he's also 7-1-2 now, so like proving that he is also not only can he play with a lead, but he can also play when the other half of his team falls behind. Even if his bot lane may die a couple times, it doesn't matter. He's still able to affect the map. He's still able to help his team out really, really well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Ingratus all throughout this series has just been playing very, very well, very intelligently. We saw, at the very first engage there, but hold that because Sugar Daddy Draven could be caught out. They don't find anything. Uses the ultimate plus flash to get away. Stays alive, so not going to mean the most for him up there, but is not going to have the flash for the upcoming fight here. But they are still pushing on to the second tier 2 towers, and now they're going to need to look for some more things to happen around the map if they want to come back and you're the Falcons. So Pulsar in a kind of a bad spot here. 3 members from the side of the Panthers are down on this bot side. They could be very well looking for him, but here is Kevo to try and defend his top laner. They are going in straight onto Ingratus. He does have the collateral damage now. Defoe picks up 1 already, but that's going to be the Graves going down. That's a big shutdown going onto the Ahri. And now it's just Jin versus the world alongside Defoe. Can they make it happen? They're just going to be posturing around here, looking for the tower. The Charm lands onto Alpha Saber, or excuse me, Wolven Alchemist, and they're going to be able to find the damage. The Kumi picks up a second, but in the mid lane, 2 members are pushing onto that tier 3 where the inhibitor tower is. Kevo looking for the hook, does not find it. He's getting burned real low, but overall, that's a 2 for 0 for the side, or 2 for 1 on the side of the Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons making it happen there, doing managing to get 2 kills, especially getting that shutdown on the Graves, the 700 gold bounty, very useful for them to go ahead and pick that one up. Jin dying again, no extra gold there, unfortunately. Next target that they want to look for is Anevia, most likely. I don't even think she's gotten her passive proc this game, though, so it's going to be very difficult for them to do so. And, well, maybe not if she delivers herself to them.
Yeah, not if she just face checks them, but still playing very safe, has a flash still as well. Has she flashed this game? I think she flashed once this game, but overall, Defoe playing pretty safe. Yeah, me too, man. I don't know, man. This Nivea's been playing super safe, but overall, Defoe, 3rd game in a row, playing very well for his team, alongside Ingratus. So those two players on the side of the Panthers are the ones to look out for. Are the ones that really need to be targeted in the draft as well as in the game, because we've seen it 3 times in a row now, where Ingratus gets a big lead in the jungle, and then Defoe's there to support him. But now, as he's going in and just flexing his muscles, Ingratus just blows up Kevbo, goes over the wall onto Jeevan, just dodges out every skill shot available. Ingratus now getting away, uses the counter strike on Arcade Pulsar to try and get away as well. The Kumi now picking up kill onto the Graves by himself. Sugar Daddy Draven on the back side, trying to find something else. Over there on the top side, still has the unstoppable force. Not going to look for it, though. So, overall, 1 for 2 for the side of the Falcons. They lose 2 while only getting 1 kill. The Elder Dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. They're just going to look for the Uber buff and try to end the game.
Yeah, definitely the safest option, I'd say, is go ahead and pick up the 30-minute, or actually, it'll be a 29-minute Elder Dragon, essentially, here. And just look to brute force their way into the enemy base, and yeah, Malphite doesn't even care that he's tanking this after turret. It's not doing any damage, and it is also just paper thin, so goes down immediately. As or Blitzcrank might be in trouble if he face checks this.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, Defoe and the rest of his team find another kill onto that poor Blitzcrank. That robot is just getting disassembled right now. Nobody's really even going to walk over to Elder Dragon. They know they can't contest it. And now Falcons really just giving this game away. Can't really fight anymore. Their team composition was never very team fight heavy to begin with. And now that they're very behind, they cannot find anything. The Kumi by himself in a 1v4. He's going to try to get away, though. Deadly Flourish lands, and that's going to be him going down. Nairo picks him up. That's going to be another kill onto the board, onto the side of the Panthers. Looking real good, looking real clean coming into this first playoff game. Looking at 3-0, their first round match, and looking real good all across the board. Every single player on their team playing clean, playing well. But I got to give my props over here to Ingratus. Has played insanely well 3 games in a row. Now with the Elder Dragon looking to just push onto these inhibitor towers and end the game.
Yeah, for sure. And Gratis and Defoe not really having a bad game. I don't really think either. Oh, okay. I don't know what just
exploded.
Oh, it was the burn. Okay, it was either Leandri's or yeah, it was Leandri's. Got it. I was like, well, why did he just explode? I was so scared for a second there, but it makes a lot more sense as now they're gonna move on to the inhibitors, and it's only a matter of time before they close this one out.
Trying to do their best to stay alive in the game. Encore lands onto 1. That's going to be the Blitzcrank going down first. Alpha Saber as well going down. Tried his best on that Lucian, but not able to do much to make it happen. The Kumi now hiding under his Nexus, trying to do something as it flashes in and tries to find something else. And Gratis picks the skill on him. That's going to be the Shaco going down as well. That's a full-on ace for the side of the Falcons. And now they're going down. They're going back home. The playoff run has ended. That's going to be the Panthers picking up a clean 3-0 onto the Falcons. They made it look easy. It was clean. And all members on the side of the Panthers played extremely well.
Yeah, for sure. The Panthers not really missing a beat. Well, I was going to say not really missing a beat this game. The bot lane was missing a few of them. Not their best showing in the series for sure. Just because the Lucian and Blitzcrank, I gotta give my props to Lucian, who had a really strong showing, and I feel for him. He played the best that he could, I feel like, but the fact that the Graves, the Anivia, the Malphite all are so strong, there's not a lot that he can do, and so the Falcons just end up crumbling there and lose the series 3-0, which, I mean, on the other side of the coin, you gotta give a lot of props to the Panthers, who played exceptionally well every single game of the series.
Yeah, just played insanely well, man. It was just clean play around the map, and Gratis very smart early jungle clears and ganks, excuse me. Just the man was on fire today, and going into the playoffs, we're gonna need to see that coming out from him more, because it only gets harder from here, right? You're gonna be facing up against the Gators next, who also 3-0'd the Sharks. It is going to be quite the matchup there next week. We'll see how that ends up. We're not going to be streaming that one, but should be a pretty good match overall. Gators versus the Panthers is going to be the next round for themselves. Both of these teams looking hot. Both of them 3-0ing their teams. And then now we're going to see which team is going to come out on top from there. But for now, we're still on the Panthers versus the Falcons. Vote for your player of the game in the chat. Make sure you vote for who you think deserves it. Once again, I got to give it to the boy and Gratis in the jungle. Absolutely popping off on that Graves, moving around the map very cleanly, and some very smart early invades that really got him a lead and ahead early on in the game. But for now, we're going to send you off to break for a few minutes, and then we're going to be back to just break it down a little bit more and just send you off for the week. Show. Oh.
There we go. Hello, everyone. We are back here and going to announce our player of the game. And once again, it's Mr. Angratis down in that jungle playing it well. Once again, a king, but this time he's a pirate king. Not, well, something along those lines. Graves just popping off here, doing a lot of damage. Just one-shotting everyone. And I think his pathing was really good. I think he made a lot of big plays. Like, even though he was playing a not-so-great ganking jungler, he was able to find opportunities to be able to take some fights, grab some kills, and invade, and just put the other jungler behind for most of the game.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. Salt and Gratis, honestly, difference maker in all three games. We saw it in the first game on the Hecarim. This man absolutely ran around the map, ran rampant on that Hecarim pick, did not even give Jeevan a chance to breathe. So I think that was just the story of the series. It was just a jungle difference around the map. We never saw Jeevan really get off to the races, and overall, I think it was just because Angratis was able to pressure him so heavily. We saw him constantly invading. As you just mentioned, he was, had that smart jungle pathing in that last game, especially. That just sets that Shaco behind ahead because Shaco usually likes to invade and do things like that. But when you're playing that Graves, you just have a lot of early armor due to your E passive. So we saw him, or your grit passive, excuse me. We saw him just not able to really take any damage at that early stage. And then when it comes to the game before that Wukong pick, it's similar idea there, right? You get so much armor from your passive, and it just does really well at the early stages of the game because most of the champs don't have a lot of AP just yet. So we saw him get that triple kill, which ended up just being a complete snowball in that game. So definitely, this man was the difference maker for both of these, or for all three of these games, and it's no surprise to you that he picked up 2 player of the games.
Definitely. What do you think, Shogun? I think that you have some thoughts about these games, and I definitely think a lot of the champ picks were interesting to you, but how do you think they worked out?
A lot of I agree that a lot of the champ picks were interesting. They all worked out, or at least for the side of the Panthers, is every single game, whatever they were using, even though the Lux that I was harping on so much, was a weird pick, and there were a lot of other picks that could have been good in theory. In practice, if you're not good on those champions, and you're really really good at say the Lux, it's probably gonna be better to go for the comfort. And we saw the value of having that comfort, especially if you think that your team is better or you think that you might be the better player in general. I think if they were going up against a team of Diamonds or something, and they needed to try to pull out something to win, something a little weird, I think going something like Orianna that's just better in theory is probably going to be a little more helpful. But when you have a pretty even matchup or teams of even skill, if you pick the champion that can give you a personal edge over your opponent, I think that'll end up being better, as we saw in game 2.
But I think overall, really cleanly played from everyone throughout most of the series. There were a couple of blunders, especially in game number 3 from the bot lane, but that's just a couple things they do need to clean up. We do know that they can perform. We saw them perform incredibly last week, especially up against the Crusaders 2 games last week, because they had to have a tiebreaker as well as the streamed match. And I think they just need to clean it up a little bit and CS a little better. There were a couple times where Wolven was behind in CS, but I think overall that's just a couple things they can brush up on. Their team fightings were really good. He was landing those Jin shots. He just was a little bit behind, so he wasn't able to get those finishing blows. And I think that just has to do with a little bit of cleaning up, brushing up. But other than that, I think everyone played well. Nairo had some clean engages in the last couple of games, but in game 3, a little bit interesting with those encores, but definitely better than what we saw in game number 2 from the other Seraphine. But I think if the Falcons are going to stick together for next split, I think what they could work on overall is scouting out a little bit. I think if they did a little bit more homework, they could have had a better chance, or at least finding picks that fare well into the champions that Defoe likes to play. This is playoffs now, right? You have to be able to figure out what you need to play against. You need to scout, you need to look at what they can do, and find ways to play against it. And I just don't think they did enough homework. and I think that was a big issue.
Yeah, I agree to that. We saw, like, in the first game, right? We saw the brand pick come out last week. We saw him pop off on it, and then they just opt into not banning it. While on the flip side, we saw the Falcons consistently getting that Echo banned away from them. So we saw that, that's Jimin's like main champion, his best champion in solo queue and across the draft, the latest draft. And it was consistently banned. They didn't even give him a chance to pick it. So uh, that's the kind of drafting and prep you need to do coming into playoffs if you're going to be looking to compete. If you're just looking to, come out in the first round, play a couple games, maybe make it a 3-1, 3-0, that's fine, right? But if you're looking to compete, you got to do your prep. You got to be able to understand the enemy players on the enemy team, right?
Definitely.
Like you're in a tournament setting, you can't just not do your research on the enemy players. You have to know that they might pick out things like the Graves, like he picked it, and Gratis had picked it 2 weeks ago or last week, I believe. So it's not like he had never played the champion. You could have even looked to take it away if you were Jeevan in that game. I think it would have been fine on him. Like Graves isn't that hard of a champion to play. I think if you put in a couple of some games on it, you can definitely get the feel for the champion. But they didn't do that really. They really didn't do that research or didn't really put the time to prep some of these extra picks out, and it really showed throughout this series.
But I think that's just something that everyone, like, in any series can think about here. It's not just the Falcons. It's not just the Panthers. I think this could be applied to any team that's in a league anywhere, right?
Yeah.
You can't just walk around willy-nilly and just think that you... Like, a lot of the times, yes, player diff does make a difference. But if you're able to find ways around that by finding picks that, do well into those players, that's another way you could play it out. Like, I just don't think they had the right picks in mind, or they just didn't have, like, the identity they needed as a team. I definitely think they were used to playing towards that bot side, but unfortunately they did end up drafting a lot towards that top side champions that needed resources, like the Jax, like the Renekton, like the Aurelia, and it just didn't end up very, very well because Alpha was getting fed down in that bot lane quite a bit. He was always even, or in game number 3 he was definitely far ahead, but they didn't play towards that win con. They usually played towards that top side, and unfortunately it didn't end up very well. And I think from what I saw with how the Panthers played today, I definitely think their bot lane was exploitable. They did misposition a couple times, and if they did play towards that win condition a lot more, I think they would have had a better chance in this series.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think another thing to consider here was just having a game plan, right? You have to know what your win condition is with that composition, and I don't think the Falcons really knew what that was throughout their game. For anybody really just looking to play and get wins in solo queue and things like that, or even competitively, you consistently have to have a game plan, a win condition that you want to play towards. If you're not playing towards that win condition, the chances of the enemy team either coming back, even though you have a lead, or you just flat out losing around the map are extremely high. So I think that's just another thing to consider here for the Falcons if they are going to stay together going into the next split, is to understand that these win conditions are very important, especially when you're going to be prepping things out like that. You have to, like, I want to hear, I would love to hear how their comms were, but definitely need to step up that department in how to set up these win conditions, how to understand what they are going to be, and how that can change going into the game. And once that game has started off, how you can apply that to the current state of the game.
Definitely. So, any closing thoughts, any closing remarks before we do end for the day? What do you think, Shogun?
Mainly towards that point about looking for your win condition in that last game, which is the only game that I think the Falcons had like a very clear win condition, which was you see your bot lane getting super far ahead, and you're still trying to make plays on the top side of the map for some reason, when that should just be sacked a little. Like, you can try to still farm your top side jungle, but that's pretty much gone as well. You need to start moving your Lucian around the map as well. I felt like he was going bot lane a lot, or just too much. Something that I actually didn't see from either teams very often is them moving their lanes around the map. They didn't really have great lane assignments, where usually towards the mid game you want to end up sending your bot lane to the mid lane and then send your solo laners to the side lanes. And I think going forward, if the Panthers don't clean that up a little bit, that can be a weakness that can be taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm. So closing thoughts then, or TLDW, a lot of it would have to do with fixing drafts up, doing more homework, but also looking at rotations. Don't just stick in your lanes, move around the map, communicate with each other, see where you can make advantages happen with numbers advantage. Like tracking where the enemy jungler is also very important. Just have your eyes open, have your ears open, listen to each other, talk to each other, and you can get it done. So thank you guys for joining us for the first quarterfinals match of this, or the only quarterfinals match that's going to be streamed of this week, or for the LAS at the very least. We do have LRS tomorrow, and the pre-mates happening throughout the rest of the week, and Valorant this weekend. So we hope to see you guys there. I'll be back on the desk on Wednesday and Thursday, so you'll get to see me again. We have Mr. Gurf, the lovely, lovely Mr. Streamer Man, tomorrow. Gonna have some fun. But for now, take care, guys. We are going to be hosting the other channel. If you do want to take a look at the match history of like the other teams, how they're doing in quarterfinals right now. So have a good night, guys. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in a little bit. Take care.
See ya.